He didn't have detect magic on his list of spells, so I added it and memorized one of those. FYI, that's what you saw there on the screen.
Okay. So, I guess, is everybody ready to get going? Actually, here, I can just do this. I've got one of my peons, or I say I've got a window connected just so I can look and see if things are showing the way they're supposed to. Also on the character sheets, if you guys haven't looked yet, in the actions tab, I added a little, at the top there is a attack matrix. It's just, if you ever need to make a attack, just a straight up attack, you can just roll a 20-sided and look at that and see what AC you hit. You know your backhoe is going to be the peach colored one, and all the rest of them will be, the rolls on the bottom, the ACs on the top. You can figure out what you hit real quick. And Garten, you don't have any stones on your...
No, I have no. You were talking about sling stones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you out?
Doesn't have any.
Oh, he has
I never
bullets.
pick any up. He has bullets.
Okay. Bullets, no stones. Okay, yeah. I just happened to click on yours to look at the attack matrix thing. So. Is there any questions about characters or whatever before we get started? Or are we good? I don't think anybody needs to level up. I think we did that last time. So, one evening, late in the evening, a new group of folks come into town, and they seem to be far more overdressed than everybody else in town. And you recognize the emblems and the heraldry that they have. It's of the Luna, and specifically you can see that they are some group of priests or clerics related to Cuthbert, because they also have that in their heraldry as well. And they come into the inn. It's a group of them, about 6, looks like 6 either acolytes or maybe guards, you're not really sure, following a older bald man that seems to be wearing a lot of gold and really expensive looking clothing and furs and whatnot. And he comes into the inn, followed by his group of followers, and he speaks to the innkeep, who points at you as you guys are sitting down having your evening meal. And he approaches and greets you and says his name is the Honorable Canon Garin Blightbane. He is sent by Jolene to be the intermediary between you guys and Jolene as far as what she'd like for you guys to do. And we've talked about some of the things before. Her main concern is trying to find out what happened to her fiance, either if he's dead or if he's kept prisoner. And part of the reason that he is here is he says that the divinations that the wizards and clerics have been able to perform, they have not been able to conclusively find out much of anything. Their wizards were unable to find any location other than in the Nulb or the area around Nulb. Might be where some other part of him is, or some other objects that he owned are. And the clerics themselves Specifically, Jolene says that she had beseeched St. Cuthbert in her prayers, and the only thing he would say in her questions, basically using the what's the name of that spell? 1 second, I'll find it. I think it's a augury. Basically, all she can do is ask yes or no questions, and whenever she asked if Thrommel was dead, he said no, and that was really all she could determine. So, what she's hoping is that you can either find him or find out where news of him, and also find out if the temple's minions are gathering again and trying to continue what they did in past years. So, to that end, he says that you will be greatly rewarded beyond your wildest imaginations, and that he will be staying in Hamlet, and he seems a little unhappy with that particular comment. Seems like he's more used to being in more ritzy accommodations, and he says as long as you are performing the tasks that they've asked you, they will take care of your needs in town, and he, as a cleric, will offer what assistance he can if you need it. And if you guys have any questions, he and his group are there to answer them if you have any.
So he wants us to go find this person.
Correct.
And sit around Nob.
Right.
How old is the person?
He's older than all of you guys. '40s, 45.
Was he like, okay, but he's a capable person. If we find him, he's liable to be able to take care of himself, kind of thing. We're not going to have to carry him.
Oh, you're talking about Thrommel, the fiance. Oh, he's in his, he's young. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Cannon guy that you were talking to. No, the other
guy
guy's,
we're rescuing.
Yeah, he may be a little older than you, but not much. I mean, he was supposed to marry that Jolene, and she's not an elderly lady, so no. Assuming you find him alive and he hasn't been tortured to death, or he has not been starved to death, or that kind of thing, he should be able to function on his own. Let me see, where's my original map? There you go, you guys should be able to see that map. The used to having hexes makes it hard to point. Well, I'm trying to point at something and it's not making it very easy. So that due east from Hamlet is where the moat house is, that skull. The other ones you don't know what those are. And then you have Nulb up in the north, and then southeast of that is what used to be the temple.
Is Hamlet on this?
Yeah, it's in the very bottom.
Very bottom in the center.
Where did you say the temple used to be?
Southeast of Nulb. It's that building that's southeast of Nulb. And when
Gotcha.
whenever he says in the region of Nulb, that could be, within a league or two of it. So that's all they know, is it's within that area.
What is old?
That is somebody trying to draw on the map and didn't clear it.
Oh.
And they That could be Jareth. That could be Grimlock. That could be Garten, because all three of you use black.
I
Oh,
did not
he's
draw on
blue.
the map.
Yeah, it was not me. I don't know.
It's somebody trying to draw. That's because it's LG for league.
0 leagues. Gotcha.
Somebody just clicked it. It didn't go anywhere. Man, I did not realize that you could not draw a line on these. That's kind of frustrating. Huh, that is strange. Looks like somebody cleared up their little dilly jobbers. Alright, so you guys have some things that you can discuss among yourselves. If you have any questions, the canon will be there if you want to speak to him. Doran. But you guys are free to talk at your leisure at your own table.
So the person we're going to look for is last reported in the neighborhood of Nulb, and we're still in Hall.
Yeah, he wasn't reported to be there. That's where their divinations are telling
So
them
there's
that
something, either
something
part
of
of him
his-
or something. Yeah.
Well, we're in Verberbonk right now, so we need to travel back to Hamlet, and then looks like
No, you are not in Vermont. You guys are in Hamlet. When we finished our last game, you guys had all traveled back to Hamlet after training.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were looking for somebody to cure the blindness on Robbie, and there was nobody at
Nobody.
So what's is the yellow where it says High Road or whatever?
That is an
line
old.
kind of broke?
Yep, that is an old road that is not used anymore. The other
And-
gray to the left, the low road, is the one that abnormal people use.
And are the demon heads, are they of significance?
They are of risky areas.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what the benefits would be to taking the high road. Is it just because it's a little shorter?
Yes, it certainly looks like it. Most of the in fact, all of the caravans use the low road just because it's generally safer.
Okay. Well, I say we head out. Everybody got everything they need out of town?
Believe so.
The only other thing from the low road and the high road goes. You can. It doesn't show on the Zoom, but there is a path that before you get to Nulb, you can go to the temple, or you can go to Nulb. When you go the low road, you have to go through Nulb to get to the temple.
Gotcha.
Do we intend to visit Nuln?
Yeah, I think that's where we're going.
Yeah, but I mean the town or city or whatever it is. Or do we want to avoid it?
Well, you know that the city is full of. It's a hive of scum and villainy.
Sounds like my kind of place.
But you said that this guy had a divination and that the guy was in Null.
No, he didn't say that. He said in the area of Nulb. And
Area
it wasn't his. That was a wizard's doing the divinations. The clerics did the augury. So I think let's see if I can do a circle here. Can't remember how to. There's a circle. I can't do smaller than 6 leagues of a circle. And I can't put it where I want. But I can't really tell you. But basically, a league within a league of Null. No, you know, in the area of Null somewhere. That's all they know.
Okay. So I think we need to go into town and ask around and see if anybody's seen him.
If
you guys agree?
If you have,
Yeah.
If you remember, just from a review, this guy went missing 10 years ago during the final battles with the enemies of the temple. So he hasn't been seen since then.
Okay.
If anything, it seems like the only thing we'd get from the town is any current rumors around activity at the temple itself.
Yep. I think that's a good point. I didn't realize it was 10 years.
Yeah, that's why I reminded, because it's been a while since we talked about that.
I still think it's a good idea to go to town for the reason that Luke said.
Then low road to no.
Sounds good to me.
It will take a complete day of horse riding, mounted travel. You guys are. It is evening, so are you gonna go that evening, or are you gonna wait till the following day, or?
I think we can wait till the morning. I would actually prefer to travel during the daytime when there's people.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just leave at first light.
Sounds good to me.
Road, and you're taking the low road. So, 1 second. The trip to Nulb itself goes without incident. Do not encounter anything that wants to eat you. Here's the map of the town. You guys are coming from the northwest section there. That brown thing is a bridge. The largest structure in town when you first go in is the building right here, which has a sign hanging out in front of it that says the Waterside Hostel. Those of you that can read common at least can read that.
Hostel? Hostil?
S-O-H-S-T-E-L, hostel.
Does anybody know what that word means?
It's a
Like a
hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once again, gentlemen.
Well, that's probably a good place to start. I imagine it'll have some sort of restaurant or bar or something in it that we can, talk to the bartender, ask around, kind of thing. Find some locals to get the lay of the land, figure out what's all in town, and what may have been going on around the temple.
Okay.
That makes sense.
To go inside, and it does appear to be an inn or a tavern of some sort. The lower section appears to be much like the Inn of the Welcome Wench. It's mostly tables and benches and chairs and whatnot for people to eat and drink. It doesn't look nearly as nice. It kind of looks a little old and not nearly as clean as the Inn of the Welcome Wench. The owner, who you can tell is the owner because he's sitting behind the bar cleaning dirty glasses. And he is a burly man with a eye patch over one eye. And there are only 2 other people in the hostel. They seem to be keeping to themselves on their table.
Are they humans? Everybody human?
They look like they are.
Anybody giving us strange looks?
No, the guy cleaning the glasses kind of looked up as you came in and looked back down, seemingly disinterested in your presence.
Now, that was a full day's travel, so it's nighttime. Now that we're here, too.
Yeah, it's about 6 in the afternoon. 5 or 6.
Are the other 2 people in here, are they drinking?
Yes, they are. They have 2 mugs of something in front of them.
So do we want to get around and
It's a lively
the
place
bar
to be in
and,
the evening.
what?
It seems to be a really lively place for this town, huh? 2 whole patrons.
I said it was 5 or 6. It's not dark yet. Maybe they're a nighttime bar. You don't know.
So I'll step up to the bartender and order a round of drinks for my party, and introduce myself. Ask him to tell me a little bit about the town.
He gets a mug of ale for each one of the party members, which is what. And he's asked for payment, which is, in this case, what is it? 6 of you? He says it'll be a gold. And he holds his hand out waiting.
I give him 2.
Nods and kind of pockets it. And looks back down at the cleaning he's got to do. And you said you were going to ask him something?
Yeah, I was going to ask him about the town. Ask him to tell me a little bit about the town. I've never been here before.
He says, well, it's just a little town on the little river, and mostly it's just people coming and going and trading, using the port in town, or the docks in town. What you looking for?
Well, we're interested in the comings and goings to the temple specifically, but before we headed that way, we wanted to get a little idea of what the points of interest were here in town, and whether try and figure out if anybody had any knowledge of what was going on down at the temple.
He says, what temple? And then turns around and completely ignores you and keeps working on his glasses. Immediately, as soon as you said the word temple, both of his eyebrows went up, and then he looked very concerned and said what he said and turned around, and he is not paying one bit of attention to you now anymore.
Do the other 2 in the bar still seem to be minding their own business?
Yep. While you guys are sitting there deciding whether you want to drink your ale or not, about 3 more people come in and sit down. One of them goes up to the bar and gets his drinks and goes back to the tables. You can see that the kitchen has got stuff cooking. Looks like there's some big pot of stew or something that they're getting ready for, maybe a dinner crowd or something. You're not sure.
So the 3 guys that came in, are they sitting together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, they're all humans?
Yep.
Any of them looking at us funny?
Nope. They all kind of looked at you like the bartender did. They kind of look at you and they're not really interested in you at all and going on about their own whatever it is they have to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out one of the black cloaks with the eye of fire on it and put it on. Actually,
Okay.
just want to see if I get any attention.
Not immediately when you put it on, no.
Plan to sit there at the bar with that cloak on for a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm drinking my ale, by the way.
It kind of tastes a little blah. I mean, especially being a dwarf, it's kind of cheap ale. Doesn't taste very good. Definitely not as good as the Inn of the Welcome Witches. After a bit, there seems to be several more people begin coming in as the sun begins to go down. After probably about 10 minutes after the bell that you heard off in the distance, more and more people have started coming in. They all kind of look like dock workers maybe, or they all, they seem pretty dirty, like they've been out doing something all day, and they're coming in to either drink themselves sick or eat dinner or something like that. And the place fills up probably within about 20 minutes after you guys have got there. As they do, some bar maids, wenches, seem to start their evening job and begin taking orders at tables. A barman takes the place of the owner and starts serving at the bar, a different fella. And one of the wenches named Dala approaches Miramar and says, kind of picks up his glass and asks if he wants he wants another drink. And while you're answering, she kind of leans down and says, "It's not a good idea to show that here."
I'm just gonna ask her, do you know where I might be able to meet up with some of my...
She says, "Well, do you want another drink?"
Yes, please.
So she is going to. She doesn't respond. She takes the drink or takes your glass, goes back to the back and fills it up. You see her kind of talking back and forth with some of the people back there while she's doing it, and she brings it back and gives it to you. And she says that she kind of leans down as she gives it to you and whispers in your ear and says that the temple keeps to itself. That's all I know. Maybe there.
Thank you. I think I would just kind of start talking to the group a little bit. I don't think we're gonna get much answers.
Well, I'd still like some basic information about the town and points of interest, so we know what sort of resources we have here. We have access to if we need them.
Getting the feeling we're being looked at as outsiders. And I don't know that whether it's the temple or anything, they're gonna share a whole lot. Now, some of these workers that came in, we can get them to drinking, possibly.
I'll ask the. You said there's a new barman at the counter now.
Yep.
I'll ask for a refill and introduce myself to him and ask him if he can tell me a little bit about the town. Tell him I've never been here before.
Well, I can tell you, the city's name is Nulb. He slams down your drink and he gets back to serving other people. He seems to be not terribly interested in your question.
Well, sounds like we need to go walk around the town then. Just go figure it out on our own.
We plan on staying in Knoll for the night? Or do you think we would be better finding some place outside?
I don't know, man. I'm not getting a very warm feeling being in this bar here. So maybe we could find another bar, maybe another hotel. I mean, there's other buildings in this town here.
You guys have noticed, particularly Miramar probably would, before anybody else, but some of these people don't look human or all human. Like you notice a couple of half-orcs in the population in the city.
A little bit more diverse than Homley.
Yeah, they all, they don't look like nice people. Like I said, the place is full of scoundrels and thieves.
It's
That
just
sort
a
of thing.
rough town.
Yeah. You guys,
So you
got
guys
the
want to talk to
picture I sent?
anybody in here, or can we go walk around the town and
Say we
figure
go,
out what?
we go check out the town. As we go out, I'm gonna slip on the ring and kind of watch our backs.
I'm gonna keep the cloak on as well
Dude,
while we're walking.
he's trying to pick a fight.
I just wonder if they wouldn't mess with the temple. If they know, if that's a line in the sand.
Well, as you leave, Garten, you definitely can tell there are several people watching you guys leave. And in fact, two of them at separate tables come up off their tables and they start talking, and then they both go out the back door of the hostel as the party is leaving out the front.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of hang back. I'm gonna tell who's the closest party member to me. I'll just say anybody. And whoever's closest to me, I'm gonna tell them what I
Grimlock.
just saw.
Yeah,
I tell
Grimlock.
Grimlock what I just saw, and I'm gonna hang back. I'll whistle real loud if I see somebody following me.
Yep, and we'll just start heading down the main road at a slow pace,
Okay.
kind of looking, see what we see.
Most of the buildings are closed. The homes or shops or whatever are closed up. It's late in the evening. You can hear some activity maybe at the docks. The boats banging around in the docks. But most of the town seems to have already basically rolled up. I say rolled up the sidewalks, but I mean the only places that seem to have lights or activity is the place that you came from. There may be a similar, some other activity off towards the docks. There's a large building south. It's got a big stack coming out of it. Looks like it's a smithy or something, but when you guys first come into town, there was a lot of smoke coming out of it. It's not so much now. Looks like the building there is kind of closed off. This one right here.
Yep, I figured that. Okay.
Can you push that map again? I actually closed it.
You should be able to see it in your images, but
Thanks.
anybody you see is either heading to or coming from the Waterside Hostel right now.
Okay. So once we get down to the first fork, I want to wait for Brian.
Okay.
Yep. Did I see anybody following?
Not immediately, no. How long are you gonna stand there and wait?
I don't know, 10 minutes or so.
Okay. Within about a little after 5 minutes, you see a group of 10 guys. Look like humans. They're all wearing leather armor. Most of them are wielding spears. And they are talking to one of the people that was, that you saw talking in the inn. And he points down the direction that your party went, and they go, running, jogging off in that direction.
I give the real loud whistle.
I get off the street in between buildings.
Yeah, I'll take refuge in between buildings as well.
Trying to hide? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, trying to hide from people on the road. Trying to get to a place where I can't be seen from the road. Maybe where I can hear and see what.
Okay. You hear some people jogging down the street, the clang of rings and buckles and things, and you're pretty certain that there's some armed people coming down the street. And they're just about to pass the alleyway that you're kind of hiding off into, and one of the guys, whistles at the guys in the lead, and they all stop and they turn and they look in your direction and kind of move over there. They don't, they're not charging at you to stab you, but they don't look like they're there to play.
They see me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to get up in their business then. Say, is there a problem?
And the largest of one of the guys steps forward, gives his spear to one of the other guys, and kind of crosses his arms and looking down at you, making sure that that he is much taller than you, and he's using that to his advantage. And he says, "What are you strangers doing here in Nulp?"
We're passing through. How about you?
Well, we'll just keep on passing. We'll follow you out of town. Let's go. Where's the rest of you? And they can see Bajarn and Baez and Grimlock. Jareth, I assume, is trying to hide, and so is Miramar.
Hiding, yes.
I'll tell the guy we'll leave when we're good and ready. And I don't take directions. Not from the likes of you, at least.
Says, "Look, I'm trying to be polite. If you don't get out, we're going to have a problem."
Tell him we have business with the temple.
"Oh, you have business with the temple, huh?" He turns around to the group and everybody just kind of laughs. And he's like, "You too, come on up here, mister that just spoke." They didn't know you were there.
Oh, I'm behind Grandma.
Okay.
I stayed with him.
Temple wouldn't come through town wearing their symbol out for everybody to see. Who are you guys? What are you doing?
We're not friends with the people in the... We were using the cloak to hopefully to see what sort of attention it drew. So we're trying to get information on what's going on at the temple and who might be going to and from the temple these days, because the intel we have about the temple is dated at best.
He says that the Null doesn't have anything to do with the temple anymore. That place is burned and gone. Anybody that goes out there stays out there, and they never come back.
So is it fair to say that you haven't seen this symbol on my buddy's cloak here in a very long time?
Not since the wars.
In the wars were 10 years ago? Is that
Yep. Yep.
We've got word that the temple stirs, and we need to confirm that. If you're able to help us confirm that, that'd be great. If not, probably we'll be on our way to check out the temple.
He tells you in no uncertain terms, he says, I will not confirm anything. I don't go near the temple. Nobody in Nob goes to the temples. That place will suck you in and you will never come out.
While we're talking, I'm gonna start taking that cloak, packing it back up to the back.
So look, we, like I said, we're passing through. Our business is with the temple, and we are not allied with the residents of the temple. That being said, I would rather not head in that direction at this time of day. I'd rather wait till the morning, because I'm assuming it's a short distance from here. I mean, based on the map, it's a short distance from here to the temple, correct?
Yeah, it's not very far away. It's like a
Yes.
30-minute walk.
So could you recommend a place for us to bed for the... If you think that the hotel is not a good place because, you know, draw a lot of negative attention, if you could recommend a suitable camping location, that would be outside of town.
He says, well, the best inn in town is the Waterside Hostel. If that's not to your liking, the woods. Camp out near the river, and that's about as good as anywhere else.
So what do you guys want to do? Go to the inn or go find a secluded camping spot? I'm kind of leaning towards find a secluded camping spot.
Me too, and I even think along the river south out of the town towards.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask. I said, okay, we'll go find a quiet place to bed for the night. Can you tell us what the most direct route is from here to the
To the what?
to the temple?
Yeah, you keep cutting off right at the end of whatever it is you're saying.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. He points down that road going southwest from the middle of town. He says that'll take you right to it.
Oh, the one that says road to temple? Oh, to
Yeah.
temple? Okay. Got it. All right, so I'll ask him his name. And ask him, you know, is he a leader here in the town?
And it was Carl. He's just a part of the militia in town.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Again, I have no quarrel with anyone here in the town, and the last thing we want to do is stir up any. You know, our business is with the temple. Thank you very much for the information you provided. Have a good evening.
He says,
we'll start
so
walking
you're leaving town.
We're leaving where? We're leaving town? Yeah, we'll go find a place to stay outside of town.
Okay. He turns and points at one of the younger guys and said he speaks to him, and As you guys are leaving, you see that one dude just kind of stand back, but kind of following you to see where you're going. And the other group of the other guys heads back towards the northwest down the road.
Are they like in patrol formation type thing?
They're grouped together. They're not marching like a military would,
Right.
but I mean, they're just all heading back to the northwest. You don't know if that's their patrol or what. But
And Brian, are you with us now? Or are you off?
I'm
in the
gonna
shadow?
follow the. I'm gonna shadow the guy that's shadowing you.
Well, do I know that you're shadowing the guy that's shadowing me? Because I'm not going to
No.
leave without you.
No, just go ahead and go.
Okay. Well, I hear you. My character wouldn't leave unless
Yeah.
I know. So I will.
you're gonna
know-
have to
you-
tell him.
But you know I gave you the signal, so I'll be following you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yep. Mr. Invis boy. All right. So let's what do you say we take the road to the temple and head outside of town that way? And basically, what I want to do is I want to get outside of town, and I want to make sure that this young guy that's tailing us stays in town and doesn't follow us to the campsite. I don't want him to know where we're camping
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
he-
worried he's going to go tell people and we'll get ambushed by some unfriendlies.
He follows you guys to the edge of the last building in Nolb, and then he just kind of stands there like watching, and at some point you guys can't see him, he can't see you. Brian's character would see him, but he turns around and goes back, jogging back off towards town. His apparent job was to make sure you guys left town.
Okay.
That's okay with us.
Yeah, and once I can't see the town anymore, I'm gonna stop in the road, wait for Brian to catch up.
Yeah, and I'll come on out there to him. When I see him, I'll go ahead and pull off the ring.
Okay.
I think that book worked out well. I think we got honest answers from them.
Yeah, I do think we did. I don't want to camp out anywhere near this road though. I want to, if anything, go straight east. Maybe get closer to the other road and camp there, or double back or something along the river. I don't want them to have any idea of the direction. I'm really concerned that these guys are going to come ambush us at night.
Well, even if most of the townspeople are against the temple, you never know if some people are friends of the temple. So that's probably why.
So this area between the road to the temple and the road to Soban, which I'm assuming is the main road, is that all just wood?
Around the city itself is not. It's mostly grassy plains, sort of, with some brush here and there. Up in the northeast where the green stuff is, maybe it gets a little swampy, but there's not a huge amount of trees and stuff until you get further south.
Okay. Well, I'm like I said, I want to go further south, and I want to try and find a secluded spot, but I don't want to camp anywhere near this road. And I would like for Miramar to be in the back and to take an actively try and keep from leaving signs, tracks, or whatever, ways for them to find us, kind of thing.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Try to
Cover our tracks. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just trying to unshare some stuff so that it doesn't
That's cool.
overload your systems. So you guys are traveling south, and you're wanting to get off the road. and find a place that's inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous and nowhere near the road.
So you want to go far west or far east?
Far east.
Well, the temple is pretty close. I mean, once you guys get out of Nulb itself, you can kind of see one of the tallest peaks, and there's actually a tower with, it's one of the walls around the entire structure of the temple. One of the towers is still standing, and you can see it off in the distance. It's kind of hard because it's pretty dark, but I mean,
Yeah,
the
well, maybe it's
elves can
better
see
than
it.
to follow the river and go south past the temple and camp there along the river. What do you guys think?
I can take a look too as we go to determine if it looks like we found an area that's not traveled much. I can look for cracks and things like that to see if it seems like it's fairly undisturbed.
Okay, give me a check in the tower, please. And we are not in a tavern anymore, so I need to change some noises.
Oh shoot, I didn't even have the music on. Duh. Sorry, man, forgot.
All right, so you look at, you've been watching the tracks as you've been moving through past Nulb, and the further you go south, particularly as the closer you get to the temple, the less there are tracks. Are you following the river, or are you guys just continuing south towards the temple?
I think following the river at this point.
Yeah, following the river, going past the temple, trying to find a secluded place to camp.
I'm going to be listening for familiar frog sounds.
Okay.
Moat house buddy.
Your moat house buddy. Yes. Oh, the big frogs. Yes. Gotcha.
Yes.
As I said, the further you went south, the closer you got to the temple, the less traffic. Eventually, to the point to where there's almost none. You don't see any traffic once you've got pretty close to the temple itself. And the further you go, you haven't seen anything other than maybe some animal tracks here and there. As so far as frog noises, you guys have been going for about 30 minutes past the town, and you're just past the temple, and you see what looks like kind of a decent sort of hidden sort of alcove of trees, and kind of the creek kind of pushed up stuff to where it's kind of hidden. But as you approach it, you can hear the creek, kind of deep-throated frog noises in that area that you did else, at the moat house. Although they have a kind of a different tone, but they sound like they're really pretty large.
I think I would kind of stop us from going too much further down.
They don't want to choose
if
as
we're
your camp
past that,
spot.
yeah, I just want to make sure we're A, out of sight of the temple, and B, past it. So I think once we're out of sight of the temple, and I know we probably can't see much anyway.
No,
it's nighttime.
It's dark. It's also a lot of brush, a lot of reeds. You can see about 15, 20 feet ahead of you, and that's about it.
But
if
I'd
something
rather
was
not,
really tall, you can see it.
I'd rather not light any fires or anything like that. I want to try and stay quiet.
So you're not picking the hidden spot as your place to camp?
We're not picking the hidden spot?
Yeah, the little grove back in there. The only thing we risk is potentially some of the large frogs that we ran into about the moat house if we further in there.
Whichever spot you guys think is best. You know, we could do it along the river, or we could use this secluded grove.
I vote secluded grove.
Anybody else have an opinion?
Yeah, I agree on the secluded grove.
All right, secluded grove wins.
I need Miramar. Give me a. Actually, I'll do it for you. As you guys are moving in, Miramar's in the lead. You see two almost pure white, large frogs. They're about the size of the ones that you'd seen at the moat house, but they look to be kind of a different type. In fact, they seem to have long sort of claws on their front, and they even have what look like almost like vampire fangs coming out of their mouth. Just they're two, and they call I would call them canines.
Okay, I
but they're
changed my
frogs.
vote.
But you see two of those kind of right on the edge of that sort of hidden little alcove.
I'll just tell the party. I think this little hidden cove it's home for someone. I don't know that we're safe in there.
Okay, so we're back to the river then.
They don't seem to have noticed you, so you can slide back if you choose to, or you can
back.
do whatever you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go camp along the river then. You okay with that, James and Brian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to fight frogs when we don't have to.
Vampire frogs.
Give me a. There's got to be some kind of thing.
What's that?
Give me a second. Give me give me a wisdom check, Mr. Ranger. You have never seen these types of frogs before.
I don't want to get to know them.
Okay. All right. So you guys back out, leave them to their own, and make your way down the river a little bit farther, a little less hidden spot, but you can find some brush and reeds and kind of clear out an area to where you can lay your sleeping bags down and bed down for the night if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is what we want to do.
All right.
Set up camp.
All righty. Are we going to have people doing watch?
Don't we have a watch
Absolutely.
order set up?
You might. It's probably changed since some people are here and some people aren't. Yeah, there's two people that don't even have numbers. Bajarni is not here.
Yeah, I was still number one, so I'll take first.
So Garten, Grimm, and Miramar, that's the order you guys want to do it in.
Sounds good.
It's fine. And on my watch, I will be wearing the cloak of Elvenkind and kind of actually patrolling a little bit on so
Okay.
nothing can catch us by
I will
surprise.
be invisible and kind of walking around silently, moving silently and all.
When it's your turn. Okay. Do you have elfin boots as well with Miramar? Or was that Jareth?
I have it.
Okay, so you got the boots and the cloak. Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm gonna patrol that way since I know I can
Be pretty quiet. Yeah, you absolutely can. Alrighty. So the evening passes quickly. for you, Miramar, and there is nothing approaches the group as you guys are making towards killing time till the morning. You wake up your next person, Grimlock. Same thing for him, and lastly, with Garden, nothing happens during his watch. It seems like nobody gets down this way, and no animals were willing to come bother you.
Good deal.
Gather our stuff and start checking out the perimeter of the town.
Yeah. So we're gonna avoid that grove.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys start making your way back towards the temple. You falling straight up the river the way you came the day before?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Backtrack.
fine.
In the morning light, you can certainly see off in the distance the tower that's behind the back part of the temple area. The temple area is, your understanding, was walled in, although a lot of the walls were knocked down. But you can see, like I said, the tower off in the distance, and you kind of use that as your reference point and make your way up the river. Just about 10 minutes up the river, and then you can see that just due east is probably the right direction of the temple from where you're at now.
Yeah, let's head in slowly and keep an eye for movement.
I'm gonna pull on the cloak and I'll let them know. So I can stay a little bit ahead of the.
Okay. Just so you know, when you move, they can kind of see where you're going. So you don't really need. I mean, unless you just stand still, they can see you. I mean, not as obvious as you would be without it, but as you move, they can see you. So it's kind of one of those things.
Main thing I'm wanting it on for is I'm kind of understanding how it works.
Gotcha.
Is if I am spotted, I can quickly just kind of
Yep, absolutely.
Moving slowly, but staying ahead.
Gotcha. All right, so you guys approach from the east. You can see the walls of it are grown over with vines in many places. Some of it is stop.
Some of it is what?
I'm sorry, I was having to shut up the music that just started playing. It was annoying me. If you guys are even listening to that, am I the only one that's there?
I didn't hear it.
I have it on.
But
Can't
I didn't
hear it.
hear it.
I don't
Okay.
have this stuff installed for it.
So all you guys should hear is the birds and the stuff, not anything else. So, do you guys hear that?
I'm not even hearing that right now.
I do.
I can hear birds. It's just I have to turn the volume way up to hear them. They must be like background.
I'm seeing nothing come from you on the clean feed.
Oh, I stopped it. That's why. Let's see. There you go. It is pretty quiet.
I'll have to turn it up.
It's just really quiet. I don't know why that's like that. It's this stuff is all supposed to be normalized, so it doesn't do that. But anyways, I was just stopping the music because it was completely wrong type of music. Let me make sure. Everything surrounding the place is pretty disgusting. There's briars and bushes with these bulbs on them that just look like they're rotten. The plants kind of grow. I mean, like the trees that you can see kind of seem to have faces of just distorted looking people, and sap is kind of oozing out of their eye sockets and stuff like that. Let's see. The growth in the compound itself is rank. Thorns clutch, burrs, stick, and crushed stems. All of the front are all over the ground, and it smells like mold and rot. And as you approach the temple, it's like a kind of dark aura is around it. It doesn't seem as bright. The lights don't seem as sharp as they normally are. And as you get closer, the animal sounds and stuff stop, although you can still hear buzzes and stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out. There they are. And let's see. The description is kind of weird for this place. I wanted to show it to you, but it doesn't seem to fit very well. But as the closer you get, the kind of more eerie and disturbing the place seems to be. You'll see shadows kind of darting from behind something and into behind something else, and you look and there's nothing there, but you get the impression that something is wrong around this place. The and that is just within the entryway of the first sort of the path that leads. As you went east, you came across the road that heads directly into the temple's sort of courtyard, and you guys have got up to the wall, and you can see within the temple grounds itself, the wall goes east, left and right, and then goes around, to the back of the, surrounding the whole temple area. You can see these black trees with just branches that are all gnarly and everything. Even some of them look like they have these blue fruit, but the fruit, would be something you guys would normally, if you see it out in the wilderness, you'd eat it. But here it kind of looks like distorted, twisted, and not the same colors that you would expect.
As we're looking around, I think I would just start looking around, kind of at the ground, looking for fresh tracks, signs of any kind of like what kind of activity.
Okay. Give me a track in the tower, please. You do not see anything that looks recent coming up from the path that you're on. You don't see any, other than your own tracks you guys are making. You don't see any horses or other humanoid tracks or wagons or anything. Looks like it's not been traveled in a long time.
And we're approaching it along the road, right? The road from Nulb to the.
Yep.
So I think we need to. Do we want to like go around the temple, go all the way around, kind of canvas what it looks like from?
Yeah, I think we should
I
look
think
around
so.
it.
Look all the way around.
See if there are any other entrances maybe that have foot traffic going in there.
Sure.
So we'll head south around the temple and kind of do a 360, try and go all the way around it. Keep some distance, but stay close enough to where we could see any motion and look for any signs that people may have been going to and.
Okay, so the temple and the walls surrounding it are pretty long. It's a large place. It's going to take you to go through all the brush and briars and whatnot. It's going to take you, just to get up one side, it'd take at least an hour. If you're just
Yeah.
skirting the outside of it.
Yeah, I think that's okay with me. It sounds like it'll take a good chunk of the day to do this.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I think it's good intel.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are you're coming at it from the east. Which direction do you want to start with?
We're going south around it, so we're going counterclockwise around.
Okay. And so you guys begin going south. Do I have an order in the marching order? That's what I need. Grimlock, Miramar, Baez, Brother Robbie, Garton. We don't have Jareth.
Yeah, I need to be put in there. Put me last. I also have an elven cloak. I don't have the boots, but I have the cloak. So if I need to freeze, I can freeze back there, and I can watch our.
Jareth. There we go. I think I got all you guys on there. So you guys, that's the direction and that's the order. Okay. So I need to have let's see. It's going to be primary. Bill's connected. Righty. As you guys are making your way around the south, you guys have been seeing these sort of darting and shadowy things, and you're not sure whether they're real or not, or just a figment of your imagination. But Grimlock notices one that seems to be a little more real than the other ones have been. And let me. There we go. And it approaches from the side, trying to come up next to Grimlock, behind a tree that's all gnarled and looks black. But before it, can get up to him and surprise him, he catches wind of something. His senses pick it up, and he turns and sees this thing, and it looks like a sort of wispy wrath-looking thing. It's got these translucent, finger, its body's kind of translucent, but it's wearing this kind of black old, maybe something it wore in life, whatever it was, but it's kind of all black and just shredded to pieces. And it comes right at him. So with that, everybody is going to need to roll initiative. Bill, are you going to roll? Oh, he's not in here yet. Oh, it looks like.
If you want to take 5 to wait for Bill, if you suspect he's about to get on, we can do that. Doesn't bother me.
How about we take a quick bathroom break and come back at like 9:35 and wait for Bill to get on.
All right.
Sounds good.
5 minutes. James, you back yet?
That did sound cool.
I think I'm going to put his initiative at 99 and we'll just skip him. Which means the first person to go is going to be our Wrath, who is going to do his attack versus Grimlock. I don't know if you guys know it, but you can control left click tokens within the combat tracker. Since I don't have a map out, that's how you'll need to target them, is control left click their token, or you can drag and drop it on them. But if you just want to target them, control left click them in the combat tracker. All right, let's see. Makes an attack at Grimlock with his claws and hits. Check something here. Oof. Okay, so the first thing that happens, he does 4 damage to Grimlock. And as the claws rip through his skin, the edges of it kind of turn blue and seem to just immediately travel across all of his entire body, and he just kind of freezes in place and falls to the ground.
Well, that's not good.
Brother Robbie.
Okay, I'm gonna try and turn the Wrath.
Go for it.
I guess I clicked that twice. I double clicked it, so it did too. If you want to just take the first one then.
Well, you didn't target anything.
Oh, sorry. Do you want
But
me to drag it on him? Is that how you do it?
You need to target. Turn undead is completely different than a regular spell. You have to actually select them before you do it. So.
Okay.
But it does not seem to have any effect on it, though. It doesn't seem to be forced back by the light of Pillar.
Okay, that's it for his turn.
Mike, I don't have a combat map.
No, you won't.
Oh,
He's not on the map. Yeah, just using our brains, our imaginations tonight. Miramar.
Alright, I'm gonna move up and attack.
Go for him. Just kind of imagine one of the ring race without its horse, and that's kind of what this thing is. Hit. Swing your blade, and its short sword seems to hit something. Missed with your dagger.
That's it, right?
Yep. And Grimlock, unfortunately, you are frozen and on the ground. I mean, his face and lips are literally blue. He's so cold.
Okay.
Baez.
Wow, already? I thought I was going to be last. Alright, I'm dropping a Flaming Sphere.
Okay. Does it let you drop it on him? I know we go through this every time, but...
Does it let me drop it on him?
Or are you just putting it beside him and then having it roll over him?
That would be the goal if it doesn't let me drop it right on him, yeah. Let me...
Okay. I think he just needs to just save. I think it's the way we need to do it. I think it's what we did last time. Because you're having him roll towards...
Yeah, I just bring it in. I have to see the area. I bring it into being. Then each round I can make it move a certain distance and crash into them.
Okay. Yep. Just make him save. Control
So
left
you
click
still
on the token in the combat tracker. Yeah, I know. And you know,
token in the
honestly,
combat tracker. Okay.
yeah. It works the same as it does in the map. It just its own. You know, you got to control left click on the token in the combat tracker, or you just drag and drop the thing on top of it. But you've got it.
I see. Okay, so it'll work exactly like it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the little die icon thing, right? Okay. Let's see. That's it.
It did not save, so you do the unsaved damage. I know there was a difference between the two.
Yeah, it's 2d4.
All right. Something that we've been trying to do is get everybody used to using the next actor button down on the bottom left of the combat tracker. There's that little arrow that's pointing down. There you go. You can drag and put that on your bar. I've actually got it on mine as F1, so I can just F1 when my monster is done. So, Garten.
Cool. All right.
Does Garten think he could get around and try and backstab this guy?
Give me a move silently in the tower, and you make your way around. You
All
can.
right.
You think if you're quiet enough, you certainly can. All right, you have stealthily moved up to its rear. It doesn't seem to be aware of your presence. Make your attack with a +4.
Damn.
And that is a miss.
So can I roll the dagger as regular?
Are you dual wielding?
Yeah, short sword and dagger.
Okay, so
He's
it's-
-2 with the dagger.
Go for it, yeah. As long as you got the -2 in there, you're good.
And that's like, he failed so bad he stabbed himself in the foot.
Not that bad.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It's AC 14. It could have been worse.
Alright, let me get the effect off of me and off.
I can do the effect. Just
I got it.
move,
I can get it.
Okay, I'm going to attack with the staff spear since it's magical, and I think this thing is undead.
It certainly seems to be.
Oh, I did really well, and it still missed.
You almost hit it. Yeah, you came very close, but its ethereal nature made it really hard for you to stab it. All right, next round, everybody roll initiative. And
Didn't I hit
Grimlock.
with a 16 earlier?
Yes, you are a fighter, though. He is not. He also has
Oh, so-
-3. But yeah, he is not a fighter. He's a thief. So his tackle is different than yours.
Gotcha.
He was one off to give you an idea how far close he was to
Right.
hit it. He missed it by 1. And looks like the only person we're waiting on is Grimlock. Grimlock, you managed to fight through the freezing cold, and your weapons are laying on the ground. You're shivering, and what are you gonna do? Your weapon.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was going to come out of it. I guess I'll pick up my weapons and I mean, can I swing at this thing this round? Because if so, I rolled the wrong initiative.
If you want to swing, use your weapon attack. The way this effect works is it basically makes you lose a attack round. So since he went before you, it's not going to ruin you for 2 rounds. It's going to do it for wherever. So if he hits you now, and you go first, it'll affect you next round, not this round. So, but he hit you before. So.
I get you, but I rolled the wrong initiative. I just rolled a plain initiative. I didn't roll a combat initiative.
Okay, so I'll add. I don't want to do that. Don't roll initiative. Just do your action there. If you're gonna jump up and try to swing your axe at him, do so. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
The axe swing seems to hit.
And this is not a large creature.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And Jareth, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to drop the staff spear and try the short sword since I can't seem to hit it with the staff spear, and I know I'm not very good with it.
Okay. Your short sword seems to miss.
Okay, that's it.
Alrighty. Gonna advance for Miramar. Miramar, go for it. Oof, yeah, that's a miss. And that's a
Now
miss.
this round I can do short sword again.
3 over 2? Yes. That hits.
Oh,
There you go. Alright, it is our Wrath's turn again. He has 4 people around him. We're going to go for the first one, which is Grimlock again. He is going to swing his claws at Grimlock. And hits just what he needs. Hit AC 3. He does 7 damage. And Grimlock again turns blue and drops his weapon and falls to his knees. Garden.
I'll swing at him again. Miss with that one. And miss with that one.
Oops. Baez coming up.
My turn now.
I'm just waiting. There you go.
Yep.
That is.
I was looking at my thaco table. How poorly I did.
Gotcha.
I'm concentrating on the flaming spear. Hit him again.
Failed. Takes full damage. There you go. Next time when you use that spell, doesn't it have a timer on it? Timer effect? It
That's
says
a
just like,
Good question. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I've just been counting in my head. How do I
Okay.
tell?
You can absolutely do that if you want, but there's if you put the flaming sphere effect on you, it'll just keep track of it. That
Oh,
flaming sphere
good.
effect is not causing you damage. It's just there so that you, whenever the effect goes away, you know that you can no longer have it do anything.
I see. And is that the icon that looks like the
little person?
the silhouette of some dude? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All
Don't
right,
do
so
it
if I
now
put that
because
on-
it's already past. You know, it wouldn't be correct. But just so you know, in the future, you can use it for that.
So any spell I cast, I drop that on me, and it'll start ticking off rounds, basically.
Yep.
Awesome. All right.
Alrighty. And our next person. You gonna advance it, Bill?
Sorry.
That's okay.
My fault.
I know. I'm telling you, once they got the hang of this, it moved really quick when we did it. Brother Robbie.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and heal Grimlock.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have those turned on?
They are. I just heard
I
it.
didn't hear it.
this is really light in the background compared to the.
Yeah, compared to the battle stuff, it's pretty quiet. Alrighty, everybody needs to roll initiative for next round. Try to remember to use that next actor one after you're done. We just need Grim and Brother Robbie. Alright, it looks like Miramar's going first. Bias, you need to roll also. That is a miss, barely. That is a hit.
Not the
Nat
one.
20.
I'm sorry, I just stepped away for a second. What am I rolling for?
Initiative.
Oh.
And your dagger seems to pass through it without hitting anything. Yeah. Grimlock is on the ground and unable to act.
I will try and whack this guy with my mace.
That is a miss. Bias.
Alright, last round for the ones here.
Missed his, wow, 3 times in a row. Oof.
Okay.
I think you've got his attention. Although it's a ball, it's not a person. Alright, Garden. That is a hit.
I'm sure non-magical didn't do anything.
It seems to pass right through it as you stab it.
Which is what happened when I hit it with the axe, right? I didn't hear you say that, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, because you saw it in the text.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
changed
I saw
that.
Okay.
I have an option to where that's not supposed to show, and I was that was one of the reasons to have a second session going so I can watch it tonight. That is a miss, and now the Wrath. Alright, so Grimlock be on the ground. He missed his round. He's still frozen. We're gonna swing at somebody else. Garden or Jareth? Oh, Garden or Jareth? Looks like he's going after Jareth this time.
Oh boy.
And he missed. Bummer. Alright, Jareth, you to go.
Well, I'm going to pick my staff spear back up since it's magical and see what I can do with that. Looks like I need a 20.
I think it's 17 would hit it.
Yeah, but I have -3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unmodified. Yeah. So 7 certainly doesn't hit. And advance to the next person. James.
I just click on it, right?
Hmm?
I'm last, so it's not going anywhere.
When you
Yeah,
click
James
next.
hasn't been here the last couple times. In the combat tracker, James, there's a little
Yeah.
arrow down at the
Yeah,
bottom.
but he's the last.
Yeah, I
person
advanced it
around.
last time, but I'm clicking on it. It's not doing anything because I'm the last person
Oh.
in the room.
I did not know it did that. Alright, there we go. I'll remember that. So everybody roll initiative. I did not know it stopped on the last person like that. To look into that. It looks like everybody has rolled. Brother Jarny goes first.
I'm gonna hold my initiative until turn.
Alright, so next person is Miramar. I will put you at 99. Miramar. That is a miss. That is a hit.
I'm not even gonna roll damage.
Okay. You get another sword hit this round though, right?
I did.
There you go. That's another Hit with a natural 20. The second nat 20 you've had tonight. Pass.
All right. Once again with a flaming spear.
He saved.
All right. So that's the
Is it half?
I don't know. Let me double check because I thought it was.
If it is, it should automatically cut damage in half. But you did one, so it does not like it matters. It's got to take half.
See, those are
How many rounds does it last?
3 because I'm on the 3rd level. A successful saving throw means
It
no
is.
damage is suffered. So sorry, take that damage off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
save.
I got it. Yeah, it must be the range. I think when the ball hits it, it's 2d4, and when they're within 5 feet, they take a d4. Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
it's like splash damage for like if he has allies near him. The ball is like if they're within 5 feet of him. Anybody within 5 feet of him at the end of that turn takes the 1d4 damage, but the creature being hit by the ball takes the 2d4.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Next person. Oh, is that the? Are you casting it again, or was that just the last
Yeah,
round?
that's the second casting.
All right. So put the effect on you.
Yeah. See, I forgot that quick. Hold on a second. There we go.
Where'd you find these sounds?
I didn't. This is Sirenscape. It's like a raft battle. So not me. They created this. They have a lot of crappy sounds, but this one is pretty good. All right. So he
Cutting out.
No, I actually stopped. Trying to decide who he's going to swing at because he is surrounded by everybody. And I'm trying to just sneeze you guys here. Oof, my allergies has been killing me too. I've got me a sneeze button, so hopefully you didn't hear that. He is going to attack the last person that hit him, which is Miramar. Oof, and he hits with a 19. And Miramar turns blue, both his weapons fall out of his hands, and he just collapses to his knees on the ground. Grimlock.
Okay. I'm going to swing at him, but this time I'm using my one-handed axe instead of my two-handed axe.
Okay.
And I'm assuming I get 2 attacks this round? Or do I not because I was down? I don't know how you want to...
So the way a specialization works, it's with the two-handed axe. A two-handed axe is not a one-handed axe or a thrown axe, so you don't get the attacks per round adjustment. If you wanted to add a second single specialization once you hit 5th level and you actually get mastery for your two-hander, I would certainly let you add that so you could get 3 over 2 with your hand axe, that sort of thing, if that's what you want. But no, it doesn't count the same as the other one because it's a completely different weapon.
Oh, so you're saying I only get the 3 every 2 with a two-handed weapon. I don't get that with a one-handed weapon.
With a one-handed axe versus two-handed axe, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just attacking one time.
That is a hit. And with that, the wrath seems to dissipate and turn to vapors and floats away into the sky like black smoke.
Well, all right then.
Put that in the XP list.
Any permanent effects?
Permanent effects? What do you mean?
From him attacking me? Did I lose
No.
levels or
No.
drained or?
No. And in fact, as soon as within a short period, Miramar is also not frozen anymore. All right. So you guys continue going south around the temple. Is that what we're doing?
Are there any remains left of the wrath, or did it just completely disappear?
The only thing that was left was like the black sort of shredded up maybe shirt. You're not really sure what it was. It's completely black with filth and dirt. And it just kind of fell to the ground, and like I said, its body turned to like smoke and just went off into the sky.
Did it have any sort of markings on it?
Nope.
Did it seem to say anything intelligible other than die?
Other than die, nope. It didn't say anything.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to continue on.
You've got to be kidding. Give me a surprise check in the chat box, please.
Is that everybody?
Just you, since you're in the front.
You said in the tower or in the chat box?
You can do it in the chat box. Oh, good Lord, you're surprised. As that last one, sort of, as you're sitting there looking at holding the black, sort of rags that it had, and you're looking around, the rest of the party sees you kind of messing around with it, and they're kind of in front of you. And
I definitely did not want to touch it.
Okay, well, I mean, you're looking at it, you're kind of trying to examine it without touching it. But as you are, you're kind of looking down, and your party's looking at you, and just as another one exactly like it rises up from something somewhere behind you, and attempts to grab you from behind. Good Lord. Didn't target. Where's the target? Is it not targeting? I guess I have to be in combat for the targeting thing to work. And you're looking down at the shredded up piece of material, and everybody in front of you, although you're not looking up, you're looking down. They're kind of pointing, trying to tell you something's going on, and just as you kind of hear a sound of something, a wisp of wind or something behind you, and you step out of the way of the claw attack that was coming right for your neck. And you hear the familiar laughter of another wrath creature.
Okay.
So, with that, that's the second random encounter. It rolled the exact same thing. Just waiting on bios.
Sorry, trying to decide what to do. Alright. I don't have anything else to say. Well, I really don't have anything to do, so I'm just going to do regular old.
Okay. You know, there's supposed to be a sound when the new round starts. I'm guessing it's being overwhelmed by all the other racket.
I've
Alright,
never
looks-
heard it.
I may not have. I thought I turned it on, but alright. Looks like Journey is going first.
That's me. Sorry, I was gonna try and turn him.
Okay.
I don't see him in the combat tracker though.
Oh, yeah. I'll fix that. There you go. That was why I couldn't target. Probably. It seems to be unaffected by your turn.
Let's see. No. That's freaking useless. I'm out of flaming spheres. Shit. I don't know. Is anybody hurt? Bad? No, doesn't look like it. Yeah, I guess I stand there with my thumb in my ass, not knowing what to do.
You don't have a banish raid spell?
Yeah, I left that one at home, unfortunately. In my other room.
Alrighty. If you are done with your initiative, go ahead and pass it on. So we have 6 people. He's going to roll a straight d6 and see who he goes after. Number 2 is Baez.
Of course.
18 will certainly hit. And he does 3 damage to you. But you immediately turn blue with cold. Oh, that's not the right person. And fall to the ground.
He went for you first, man. He heard it through the raid vine that you were throwing spears of fire.
Yeah, he must have.
Miramar.
Alright, moving it.
That is a hit. And dagger?
No, I already know. Yeah,
Grimlock.
he's learned.
Okay. That is a hit. Alright, Jareth. You try to spear him?
You bet.
Oh, so close! If you had bless, you would have hit him. Also, you won't want to target him next time, but you should be able to advance.
Yeah, of course. Okay, clicking on the arrow is not moving it.
Okay, so it's not because you're at the end.
Yeah, I moved once. I don't know why it's not moving now.
I'll do it manually. I don't
Thank
know
you.
what's going on with your thing.
It worked the first time, but
Garten goes invisible and backs out of range of the raid.
Okay. New round, roll initiative, and that time that must have been Brian that advanced it, so it's not the him
Yeah,
thing
I
that does it
did.
either. You used a longbow for your initiative, Miramar? Did you intend to do that?
Oh, no, I grabbed the wrong one.
Yeah, your short sword is much quicker.
Yeah, I grabbed the wrong one.
Alright. Looks like everybody's roll. Garten, you go first in the round. You are invisible and stealth.
Yeah, just move it and I'm holding my initiative.
Okay, next
King,
person.
I'll watch for any other.
Okay.
Baez is frozen and cannot act.
Still? Okay. Good. I'll
Yeah,
just roll myself
you
then.
acted last
Crap,
round
okay.
before he attacked you.
Ah,
and
right,
so
right.
you basically lose an attack sequence, which is right now.
Yeah, because I saw the stats disappear from under my name, so I thought
Yep.
that it expired. All right.
Next is our Wrath. Going to target. And he misses. Jareth.
Try this again.
Wow, look at that dice! You guys seen that?
That's wild.
Holy
Never
smokes.
gonna stop.
It's never gonna
So
stop!
I hit, right?
Oh, no! AC 5.
I think you ought to get an automatic hit for that.
Do you know, you can kind of fake it do that if you hold the Alt key while you throw the dice down. If you can hold your hand over the dice, it'll roll. I've seen it. I can't do it very well. Alright. Grimlock, you go.
Okay.
How does he miss? Grimar. That is a hit. Ooh. Brother Rob.
Guess not much point to. Oh, I'm gonna light a torch. So I'm gonna go ahead and subtract the torch from my inventory. I'm gonna drop my foot in space and light a torch.
Sure. Garden. You see no
Can't.
others.
Alright, he can't do anything. It's no use. I'm gonna do anything.
Oops. Dad, burn it. Tricksy little fuckers. Alright, everybody roll initiative.
All right.
And I will set that right on you then. Alright. Start of the round. Looks like Baez is our first person.
5, so now start down our roll. All right. Yeah. Since I really am impotent against this guy without any useful spells, I am going to spend the time to go into my backpack. I am taking out my healing potion. Have that immediately on hand in case somebody needs help.
Okay. Alrighty. If you were going, go there. You go. Grimlock. Oof, that's a hit. Pretty good. 10 damage. Garden.
Same thing.
Just staying in the back.
Yep. Trying to watch for any other threat.
Okay. Jareth. Let's get it, man. Give me a 20.
That's all I can hit with. It's on
That
the
is-
side.
That's a miss. Grimar.
Oh,
No. It's a miss. The Wrath gets to go again. And he's going to keep beating on Miramar, I think. Oof, he hits with a 19. For 9 damage. And he drops both his weapons and falls to his knees. Brother Robbie.
Okay. I want to try and swing at him with the torch. How do
Okay.
I do that?
Well, you can look at your character sheet, go to the Actions tab, the weapons. At the top, there's that little attack matrix. You see that? Now roll a d20. Tell me what AC that hits. 17.
Hits AC 1.
It hits. Give me a d3 damage. Once you do that by right-clicking the 6-sided doing the custom dice. It's setting it to do 3.
Hang on, I did the wrong thing. I rolled 3 of them.
I should make a weapon and just call it torch. Ready, 3 damage.
So it actually did damage to it?
It seems to.
Oh, cool, man.
Alright, new round, roll initiative.
Go Gadget Cleric. And should I just use the Mace Footman's initiative for torch attack, or what? That's what I did last.
That's fine. What are you doing to roll your dice, James? Because every time you do, they just like fly like light speed and bash off the corners.
I'm releasing while I'm moving the mouse.
Huh.
That's all.
Yeah, because you are flinging them across the screen on my end. That's pretty wild. All right. Our first person is Baez. Got your healing potion in hand. Looking around to be helpful. What are you going to do?
Crap, sorry. My daughter was talking to me. She's
That's
working on
okay.
the model. I missed it. So I'm at the top of the order.
Yep, you've got your healing potion out.
Oh shit. Yep. Miramar looks like he's in trouble. I will move over in his direction and with the healing potion at the ready. So if he needs it, he can just take it.
Okay. Grimlock.
There we go.
Sorry, I should let you click that, Bill. I'm still trying to get in the habit of not doing that.
I'll never learn, man, if you keep doing
I
it.
know. All right, Garten. Miramar. See how fast that went? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Jareth, go for the spearman. Fling that dice across the screen. That was a wimpy roll, man.
There, I did it soft.
It didn't work. All right.
I used my sling attack wrong. It would have missed anyway.
Yeah. He is going to attack someone else this round. Because Miramar is still... go for one of the guys in the front. That is Jareth. 15 hits.
Ouch.
Oof, for 10 damage. And you are frozen. Fall to the ground. On your knees. Jarny.
Magic spear on the ground.
Alright, I'm gonna do the D20 again.
What did I see, that?
AC 3.
That is an AC miss. Round roll initiative. God, I gotta figure out how you do that. I like that. So you just like move the while you're moving, you release the dice.
I release while the mouse is moving.
Do you jerk the mouse while you're doing that, or you just move it
I'm
normally?
just moving the mouse up
And then releasing.
on the area, and when I release, it just flings across.
Okay. Well, it looks like Jareth is first. He is frozen,
I'm
actually.
frozen.
That's right. You won't get to attack this round. Garden.
Is Garten smart enough to figure out he can get that spear's magic?
Oh, you know it is, because he makes it grow and shrink and do all kinds of crazy things.
Then he will attempt to pick it up and stab the ranger.
You
Okay.
could also do the torch method that I do with the cleric as well.
The cleric hasn't said that he thought the torch did any good yet.
Alright. So yes, you can pick up the staff and our spear and try to use it. You
Alright,
are at
so
a minus. Oof. What's your minus with
I
weapons?
don't know. I have to look it up.
You're a -3. It's on your. It's in your combat
Yes,
section. Yeah. So just when you roll the d20, just adjust it. You are a
And I
+2
missed.
because.
I'm what?
+2 because you were invisible, but you're not anymore.
Yeah, no way to miss anyway.
Bias. Holding your potion for Miramar. What does Miramar say? Does he want it or
Yeah.
not?
Drink it. Here, man.
Do you want it,
I'll
Miramar?
open my mouth.
I'll pour it in.
Okay. Go ahead and give him the heals.
Okay.
Alrighty. And advance the round. Grimlock. Can you finish him off? Oh, natural 20. I think you're going to finish him off. In fact, I'm pretty sure you will. What you do? And like the other one, he kind of just comes apart, turns into wispy smoke, and just kind of goes off in the clouds, and his rags that he was wearing just kind of crumple to the ground.
All right.
I think we might need to move away from this spot. Seems to be a bunch of them here.
Yeah, so it would seem.
And I definitely give Jareth his spear back.
Thank you.
Thing's
Yeah.
entirely too big for Garden.
And Brother Bjarni will make a comment to the group that you don't seem to be able to do damage to it. The torch seems to have an effect against these guys. And he'll ask around, make sure everybody has torches on them.
I do.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have a couple. One needs one.
Alrighty,
All right,
so
let's move on.
You guys gonna keep moving south?
Yep. Try to get out of this area.
Okay, so you make it about halfway across the southern part of the wall. You come to another path that seems to go into the temple courtyard area. You also see that the road that goes into continues on south from where you're at. Like it just kind of goes off, continues on to somewhere. You're not sure, but it doesn't look like it's been traveled hardly at all. Where the road goes into the, or where the path goes into the towards the temple, there what used to be gates is now just an open wall section that looks much like the other. Only it's from the front. It looks like it's the front of the temple itself, which, 1 second. The front, this is kind of what it looks like right here. In fact, this is exactly the look.
Oh, so where we're at now is at the front entrance.
You're looking north from where you're at. That's the gate into the main place, and then right beyond that is that temple in the back.
Gotcha.
And when you're saying the courtyard, you mean that area in front of the door?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so the I guess the entrance where the road was from Nulb, that was a side entrance into the same courtyard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's I guess we keep moving around, right? So we've went what, 90 degrees so far? We've went a quarter of the way, all the way around it?
Mm-hmm.
Or more. Okay. So you guys okay with continuing around?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. So the other half of the path is less fraught with wraths and whatnot. So you make it all the way to the southeast corner of the temple walls, and you can see it continues on north for a good distance.
I'm still checking for anything really out of place or any indication of activity.
Of
Yeah, still
activity.
no movement. I'm thinking.
You keep seeing the little black shadows and eerie sort of feeling that something's right behind you, and you turn and look, and there's nothing there, but you don't see any physical evidence of anything, at least here. And Miramar, you can give me a track check in the tower, please, if you want. You see nothing.
All right.
So you guys keep going north?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just following the group.
So the northern wall, or the section of wall that you're following towards the north, is about twice as long as the other. You get about a third of the way north, and you see there is a collapsed part of the wall. Just beyond it is one of those tall, really tall, black-looking, gnarly trees, and some others. But you can see the east side from here. You can see above the trees. You can see the east side of the temple itself.
And where are we with respect to the tower?
It is north. You're on the wall that it where the corner of the wall is. So the tower itself is at the northeast corner, and you're heading in that direction.
No movement at the top of the tower that we can see, or around the tower?
You can see some black sort of things that are flying around the top. They look maybe like crows or something, but they're pretty high up. You can't really tell, but I mean they look like some sort of black bird. But that's all the movement you can see up towards the tower.
And this crumbled section of wall where we're at here, do we see any indication that this area has been traveled? Like that people have used this area to get access to?
You don't see any tracks.
And does it look like the damage to the wall here was man-made, or does it look like it's just deteriorated over time?
Give me a wisdom check.
Kind of trying to use my engineering knowledge.
Yeah, use that. If you use your engineering skill.
Shoot, sorry. Looking at Robbie's sheet, wondering why I don't see it there.
You are not sure what caused the weakness here, but it doesn't. It's really hard to tell because it's been several years since this originally fell, so you're not sure. And it's been falling for a while.
So, Luke, do you see any indications that this area has been used to get access to?
I've been looking as I go. I haven't seen anything yet.
If you would like to look for tracks, just let me know. You certainly can.
Yeah,
if you want.
I want to as we go,
Okay.
more or less.
Okay. So
Yeah,
go ahead
especially
and
at
give me
entry points.
give me another check in the tower, please. You see some tracks look to be probably like 2 weeks, maybe longer old, and kind of some mud that's dried up. And they were heading on the outside of the temple wall, not the inside, northward. Just some booted footprints.
So humanoid.
Yeah, but they look pretty old.
Okay. But they were headed north on the outside of the wall. So
Yep.
where we're at, going further.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of point them out, and I would want to actually try to follow them as much as possible.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the direction we're going anyway. And as we're moving, though, I'm gonna keep my eye on the top of that tower to see if I see any movement or anything.
When you say top of the tower, you mean like where the birds are flying, or something else?
Well, yes, that in any place where people would be, right? So I'm assuming, when you say tower, I think of like a watchtower where there's, posts up front, crenellations, whatever, where people could be that they're looking out.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is some sort of lookout tower, and so I am looking for the lookouts.
Yeah. It looks like the upper portion of the tower itself has what would be, battlements or that kind of thing, has collapsed down, so it's not as tall as it was. I mean, it's like the rest of this place. It's kind of old. Even the walls that are solid here, the tops of the walls, are missing large portions of, the walkways and stuff like that.
Okay, so the tower is not intact either.
No, not completely. I mean, it's intact in that it's taller than the walls, but the upper portion where you normally would have like ballistas or whatever else, is not there. I mean, it's collapsed down.
Okay. Well, if there's any windows, apertures, or whatever on the part of the tower that's still there, I definitely want to be checking those as we're moving to make sure there's no shadows.
Okay. Well, there's definitely arrow slits all over the thing, and you can't see through those.
Yep.
I mean, they're just arrow slits. They're black, and from where you're at, you're pretty far away. So.
Got it.
Anything else?
That's it.
Jareth or Baez or Garton, you guys got anything you want to do?
No, he pointed out the tracks. I think we should follow him.
Staying close to the fighters.
I'm just looking for places where we might want to climb up the building and get into the temple other than through a door.
Okay. Keep in mind, you want to see if you could figure out how to get into the temple from not using the door on the temple?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we don't have to walk in the front door if that's the only entrance there is. I'm hoping that we can find someplace, an alternate entrance, either a broken piece of wall or, where the temple itself has been broken, or a crack in the roof where if we could climb the wall, we could get in through a upper hole or something like that. I don't know if that exists on this place.
Okay. So from where you're at, it's pretty hard to see that low as far as doors and that sort of thing. From the front, the part you saw from the front, you could see all the way up to it because there was a path. From this side, there's trees and brush and all that. So anything that's like anything between like 10 foot and below is just covered with brush and trees and stuff. But the upper portions of the temple you can see. You can see there are some giant windows, some that look like the front, but you can't see the areas where doors and lower sections would be. But as far as the walls of the temple itself from this side, they look very look intact. So.
Okay.
Alrighty, so you guys keep heading north, and it takes about 40 minutes to get from here to near the tower itself. As you do, you can see that there is a sort of small little ribbon of smoke coming out of the tower.
A small little what was that?
Small little ribbon of smoke. Like somebody has a fire somewhere in there somewhere, and it's coming out of the top of that tower somewhere. Let's see. It doesn't have a chimney or anything that's coming right out of the top, but you can see that somewhere out of the round top of it, there's smoke coming out. And you guys have gotten probably about, 200 yards away from it at this point when you notice the smoke coming out of it. You haven't seen any other parts of the wall that have collapsed up till this point. In fact, up to the tower, there's no cracks in the walls or broken parts of the walls to get to the other side. And from this side, from where you're at, you see no entrance into that tower other than the high parts where you can see the arrow slits, and those aren't entryways, those are exits for arrows.
Well, I think there's smoke coming out of it, so there's something. And I think moving closer to it, the closer we get to it, the more likely we are to be noticed by whoever's in it. So maybe we need to go back the way we came, and then at that gap where we found where it was crumbled, kind of go in and then head towards the tower directly from that point to go see what's in there.
I would also suggest if we're gonna approach, this is probably the opportunity to wear the black cloaks we have.
That's a good point. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm for that. We could all put our cloaks on.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So we're gonna go south along the wall till we get back to the part that was collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna go into the courtyard, through that gap in the wall, and head directly towards the tower, with all of us having cloaks on, except for Brian. Are you gonna put yours on, or are you just gonna invis?
I'll do both, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
Okay. It's music, I like it. Sorry, I'm also
I
doing
don't hear
something.
it.
You gotta turn your volume up.
Keep shutting it down.
Alrighty. So you guys go back south to where you came from, go through the gap. During this period, you've also put on all your black cloaks with the sort of burning eye that's on it, and then start making your way along the wall, going north, through the temple courtyard, I guess, the interior of it. Everything seems a little more twisted and a little more dark and a little more foreboding than outside, just by a little bit. Just looking at the temple to the west, though, it seems very ominous, and you have this feeling in your gut that you just don't want to go in that direction. But since you're going north, that's a good thing. You guys travel for about another 10 or 20 minutes. A little easier to travel in here because the brush is not so much. It's mostly just large trees that you're dodging through. And you get to about the point you were distance-wise from the tower, just beyond a sort of line of trees. You can see about 300 yards away is the tower itself. You can see just at the bottom there is a wooden door. It looks like a heavy, sort of door that would be on a keep or something. And it's, not like a flimsy door on the southwest part of the tower.
Yep. So continue heading towards the tower.
Alrighty, so you get about 100 yards from the tower, and you can see the door that I was telling you about. You can hear some noise behind it, and it opens up, and about 5 people come out. They're all wearing leather armor, have weapons. They seem to be at the ready, but not charging or attacking you. They seem to be more trying to figure out who you are. They do seem to recognize the emblems on your cloaks. So, what is your next response?
We head directly for him. I mean, I'm heading directly for him. That's what we're doing. We're heading towards the tower. those guys are along the way, then we're going right.
Okay. They're standing outside the door. Or they're just kind of waiting for you to approach to get within speaking. And they as you get closer, they say, "Hell, who are you? Why are you here?"
Oh yeah, back. The Mo house was attacked.
Really? Did they get that Lareth pretty boy?
Lareth ran off. We're not sure, so we decided to come this way instead. Has there been any activity here or anything?
No, it's been quiet. Are you guys
We're looking
here
for-
to come in the back door?
Yeah, we're looking for a place to stay for the evening. We could.
Well, you can stay in the tower with us. It's not much, but it's out of the rain, I guess.
And if they're welcoming us in, I think I'm gonna actually head in. Hands at the ready to grab a sword if I need, but I'm gonna.
Okay. They don't seem overly anxious. Once you guys get close and start speaking to them, they just kind of say, "Oh, it's just kind of." They weren't expecting you, but you guys seem to be not setting off any of their alarms internally, so they've kind of lowered their hands from their weapons. They open up the door, and let me see. As you first go through the doors, you can see there is 2 large barricades on either side, and then they have some other stuff set up on the other side. Behind those is like 8 guys, and they seem to be, trained on the door itself. And as you come in, they see the symbol on your chest piece, and they just kind of lower the weapons, and they kind of go back to sitting down. And as you look around, there's like these stairs that go up all the way inside the tower, up to all the arrow slits that are pointing out in all the directions. And they are there's 5 archers at different points up there. They kind of look down as you come in, and then kind of go back to looking out. And right behind them is a black cloth, so you can't really tell what's there. In the corner, you can kind of see a sort of quarter section of the tower has been walled off, and there's doors. And but other than that, there is 2 tables and some chairs and various things set up, and other places where you can sit down or lay down and rest.
As we kind of make it in, I'm asking. So Lareth didn't make it this way when he ran off. Has anyone else from the moat house come this direction?
Are you asking them, or are you just?
Yeah, I'm asking them. Yeah, I'm asking them.
Are the rest of you guys coming in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Trying to look as evil as possible.
Okay.
Still invisible.
Okay. As you come in, everybody comes in. They close the door and latch it, and they got this giant, thing that goes, behind it and closes it down. And just as you guys get inside, you kind of get a idea of how many people are in there. There's 4 archers. There's some crossbowmen that are down the bottom. There's some other guys that have spears that are also they're all just kind of lounging around like they're just sitting here. So you guesstimate there's a total of
18.
more than that, close to 20 or over 20 people in here, not including you. Okay, so as you come in, you close the door, and they kind of tell some of the one of the guys that apparently must be a leader. He waves off some of the guys sitting at the table, and he motions you guys to come over. And as you sit down, you ask him the question, "Have you seen anybody else from the moat house?" And those sort of questions. He's no, we haven't heard from anybody in about 2 weeks. Last we had heard is he says the last we had heard is that Lareth had captured some gnome scouting party and was torturing them. And they had sent one of them up here, but I haven't seen him since he went in to the temple.
Who took him into the temple?
We did.
Well, band of adventurers in the gnome let the gnome out. Ended up wiping out most everything. Lareth escaped and we escaped with him, but we got separated. So we figured we'd head here, kind of recollect and probably get some rest before we try to find Lareth again. Or see what the will of the temple is at this point.
Says, well, you're welcome to stay here. I'm sure Falranth will probably want to speak to you, or at least through me or one of the other guys, to find out what's up with Lareth, because apparently that was one of his friends, and that's kind of how he says it.
So looking around, like, are they all just kind of, they're all just kind of unpost, or they
Some of them are on
food,
the
drink, like
they're like I said, there's like the stairway that goes all the way around. There's those guys are the only ones that seem to be actively, paying attention to what's going on out there. No alarms have been set off, so they're kind of just there watching. All the rest of the guys are kind of lounging around, maybe playing dice or drinking. Some of them are just kind of asleep, laying on their cots that they've made on the floor. The commander, the guy that's been speaking, he basically, as conversation goes on, the rooms that are kind of walled off over there in the corner are where the lieutenants and commanders and whatnot sleep. So if you want to make, if you want to stay here for the night, you're gonna have to stay out here.
okay.
Do we want to go up to the top and take a look from there and just kind of get an idea of what's going on around the temple?
Yeah, there is no top.
Well,
It's
you
just-
said there were some archers up near the top. There were 4 archers.
Right,
where
it's
were
just
they?
a ring of stairs that go inside on the tower wall that are just kind of, around the edge. It doesn't go up to like a floor. I mean, you can go up and look out the arrow slits if that's what you want, but there is no top of the building.
Sure, as high up as this we can go on the stairs. I'm assuming that that's going to put us above the height of the wall.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm just saying we were walking around the temple trying to identify entrances to the temple, and so I was just trying to, keep us from having to go the rest of the way by being able to take a look from the tower.
So when you say an entrance to the temple, you mean an entrance through the temple
Through the wall.
walls?
Entrance
Okay.
through the wall. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. So there's the one from the west. There's the one from the south, which was the one that I showed the picture. Yeah. The one from the west was kind of a side. Then there is a hole on the east wall. And you go up the stairs and kind of look out to the west, and it gets up above the wall, and you can see the north wall is collapsed in 2 places in the center, and then farther west, almost as far as you can go before the wall goes south again, there's another hole there. And those are all the gaps that you have seen.
So west and south, there are holes in the wall,
Mhm.
other than the door.
No, there is.
Is that what you said? Sorry.
No, the temple itself is not what we're talking about. We're just talking about the wall around the temple.
The curtain wall. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a keep in the middle of, you've got the walls around the keep with the gates and that sort of thing. And then there used to be towers in each corner, but there's only one. That's the one you're in.
Okay. So the temple itself, the walls are intact. The side walls are intact.
Mm-hmm. The building itself is completely intact.
And the entrance through the wall on the west side where the road came through, that was not like the wall had collapsed. That was an actual intended entrance.
Right. It looked like the front, had some gates that were kind of falling down, but it wasn't a collapsed wall, no.
Got it. But the entrances on the east wall and the north wall
Or
are all
collapses.
collapsed.
Yep.
Correct. Got it. All right. Well, I guess we're going to rest for the night with the rest of the grunts.
All right. I want one person to give me, and since Miramar's done most of the speaking, I think, to them. Miramar, I want you to give me a charisma check in the tower, please.
Good luck.
That's
You'll
my
need it.
worst. That's my worst.
You'll be happy to know that you did make it. So you did not give off any indications that you weren't who you were supposed to be. Everybody else kind of kept quiet, and they seemed to be okay with, it seems that they kind of believe that Miramar is the commander or the leader of your group, and maybe Grimlock is kind of your lieutenant. But that's kind of the impression you think they have of you. And if you're going to sleep through the night, you can certainly do that. The place is safe other than the bad guys that are surrounding you, all 20 plus of them. But they're not going to bother you while you're sleeping. What is Garten doing?
He is staying off in a corner as quietly as he can. How many move silently rolls do you need?
Just one. All right, you're okay. You were able to find a spot that, it's kind of like underneath the stairway, right in a small little corner that's too small for anybody else, and just kind of get there and nobody comes over there, and you can kind of stay there for the duration as long as you like. You guys do hear, the rest of the people, they're talking, most of the night and laughing, and some of them are drinking a lot more than they should, and you notice a couple of them, like the people that you saw in Nulb, or some of them are don't look a little human. They look like maybe half orcish, or at least some kind of orcish blood in them. And the commander wishes you guys a good night, and he goes off into the sleep area for the commanders. There is 2 doors, like I said. There's it's kind of, the wall is kind of an L shaped. There's one on the L side, the top part of the L. There's a door up there in the north section, and then on the bottom part of the L, it's on the southeast section. There's a door there, so there's like 2 doors, 2 different rooms, and he went into the southeast one. And if you guys are just going to sleep through the night, those of you that need to restore your spells certainly can. Same thing with Brother Robbie.
Can we
Yeah.
heal with the rest as
Yeah.
well?
Before I go to bed, I'm going to heal up everybody.
Go ahead and do that.
Okay. Let me see what I. Did that heal you? Oh, I guess I can't drop it on the party. Yeah, I'm dropping it on the party sheet though. So that got you to full?
I can use a self heal, right? Since we're resting.
It'll be a D3 if you sleep 8 hours.
Right.
Oh, you're just down 1 hit point. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. I'll go ahead and remem spell.
Okay. Baez, don't forget to do that.
Yep, working on it right now.
Yeah, I picked your spells, so if they weren't the ones you wanted, that's why. Because you had no spells, and I wanted to give you some before we started.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that looked like what I would pick out.
Let me know when you're done.
All done.
I'm done with spells on the cleric.
So if you guys are all done, what's the plan? All the other guys, most of the people are still asleep. There's a couple of the guys that are awake, the archers or crossbowmen, that are paying attention to the arrow slits. But it seems to be a pretty lax environment as far as a military outpost would go.
So I suggest that we just kind of casually scout the place, like we're new here and just trying to find out where all the important stuff is and who the important people.
How many
Yeah,
men are
just-
awake and on
Just
watch?
we're just walk around and say, hey, where should we not go? I'm new here, just trying to find my way. What's the layout?
Okay, so you seem to find one fella that's a little more friendly than most of them, and you kind of ask, hey, like I said, where do I need to stay out of so I don't get in trouble, sort of thing, and he just kind of points over at the little wall there, and he said, don't go bother the king and queens over there, and he keeps his voice down when he says that.
Yeah, gotcha.
The king and queens over where? Where's he pointing?
To the walled off section.
Pointing to the walled off section of the temple, or the part of
tower.
the tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you asking about stuff outside, or are you asking about you're talking about inside of the tower? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Inside.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, there's at this time of the day, there's at least 4 people on watch looking at all the arrow slits. Most of the other guys, like I said, like right now, there's most of them are sleeping. There's 4 of them that are awake looking out the arrow slits.
All right, guys. Just say the word and I'll put them to sleep.
Oh, they're not all in a pile either, just so you know.
Oh, come on. They got to be in a big pile. Make it convenient for me.
Yeah, it would be very convenient if it was.
You guys want to try and fight all 20 guys?
20 plus.
Like, I didn't think the plan was to come in here and start a fight with 20 plus guys.
No, but if he's poking around and causes any kind of trouble, then they start getting suspicious or whatever, then whoever is awake will need to be dealt.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but I'm taking care not to piss people off.
Yeah,
or make them suspicious. I'm just acting like I'm the FNG.
So the guy that you're talking to, he you know, he seems to be interested in just chatting and, you know, like, you know, normal like you do at the water cooler early in the morning. And he says, so what kind of actions you guys see?
Well, you know, I didn't see a whole lot myself, but I was told, you know, on the way here that there was a group of people, some guys from the village came in and uh, and worked over the tower, and you know, we basically took off. We couldn't find any leadership, so you know, rather than try and hold the tower, just the five of us, I'm sorry, six of us, uh, you know, we decided to come here and get further instructions. I'm new to all this, and I'm just trying to do what I'm told. You know, I fought against one guy. I didn't take him out, and so they just basically grabbed me by the scruff of the neck, and said, "Let's go."
Hmm. Who's the sixth person? You guys, there's only five of you.
I don't know.
You don't know? You just told me there was six of you. I only see five.
Maybe we lost one guy on the way here.
Oh, that was George. Remember? They got his ass when we were leaving the.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay, sorry. George didn't make it.
He was too damn fat. He just couldn't run fast enough.
The guy just kind of nods and smiles. Well, it's been pretty quiet here. We only see they bring in supplies and new recruits or victims every now and then. Last thing we saw
Yeah.
come through here was the gnome scouts that they had captured up in the moat house. Or scout, I should say. All the rest of them were killed, but this one, apparently he was a high-ranking official with the gnomes from the Lort Mills.
You guys ever get any good-looking human females? As like,
Not at this level, no. I'm sure our lord and ladies over there probably do. And again, he points over there, seemingly not like he's very happy with the situation.
yeah, I suppose so. That's the way it always works, right?
Someday it'll be me.
I tell you, that's just unfair. It's not right. You know, guys like us, we do all the hard work. They get all the reward.
That's the way of it.
But what if it wasn't?
Telling you, someday.
That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
I hear they're trying to get more recruits, and I will be needed to be a leader for them, and I will be my own lord. Call me Commander Happy.
You're the kind that takes care of the people that take care of you.
As long as they take care of me, absolutely. You know it.
All right, keep me in mind then.
What's your name?
Name's Fred.
Nice to meet you, Fred. My name is Jack.
What's your name? Jack. Good to meet you.
So does anybody else do anything during this exchange, or Good.
I'm sleeping.
So unless you have any other conversation pieces for him, can move on to whatever actions you guys want to take.
Yep.
What do you guys want to do?
How often do they change watch?
About every 4 hours.
It's always Bowman.
Yeah, I mean you'll see a guy pick up a bow, and the guy that's on the watch will leave the bow and the arrows there, and then somebody else will come up and take his place, and the bow and arrows will still be there. So the 4 arrow slits that are up there, there's those 4 guys, plus there's crossbows and all this other stuff down the bottom. I mean the place looks well armored. They've got barrels of water and supplies. It looks like they are ready for a siege. Although you don't know what's behind the wall, you don't know what's there. But out here in the outer sections, there's supplies stacked up too.
Well, the one thing we could do, if we want to stay here, another night or something, is we could set the place on. Kind of sneak around in the middle of the night and put oil everywhere, especially on supplies, and light it all and take off.
I think we got it pretty good not doing that, just getting a look at what's here. I would like to know what's beyond the inside, just what this entryway, because we'll have to deal with the whole place, not just the vestibule here. But push come to shove, we could do that.
So the lieutenant, I'm imagining at this point, is still in his room. He hasn't come.
Not yet. It's pretty early.
Just trying to get a layout of the room. You said there's 2 doors and then a walled off area.
The doors are on the walled off area. The outer part.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just a quarter of it. Just imagine a circle, and then a northeast corner, or northeast quarter of that circle is walled off. There's a door on the south section and a door on the northwest section to get into it.
This is to get in the tower, or
No,
what
just
are
the
you
walled
talking-
off section.
Okay.
The walled off section doesn't go to the roof either. It's just walls that are like 8 feet tall and you can't see over them. I mean, you can hear people on the other side of it. It's just like cheap military, like if you go to, I don't know, I wasn't in the military, but, kind of wall off sections where you go take a shower and there's no roof. I mean, but this is sort of just a walled off section where they have privacy, and you assume they sleep back there and have other things that they can do back there.
I'm gonna get up and just ask him, where does one relieve themselves around?
They kind of point in the corner underneath the stairway where it's like not a lot of room. If you're just gonna go pee, you go right over there.
You asshole.
I'm gonna go over there. Take a look.
Well, just as you're dropping trowel, you hear the "you asshole."
Oh, I'll hold it.
Just aim up against the wall. I'll move out a little bit. I will see if I can get over to the walled off section and find a spot he can climb up and look over.
Yeah, it would be pretty easy for you to do that. There are some places along the edge of the wall where there are some boxes and crates stacked up. I'd like to climb up those and look over the top.
Yeah. Again, trying to be quiet.
Give me a check in the tower, please. Get up to you get up like on the second box. You're about to reach up to the third box. You grab a hold of it, and the lid was just barely on it, and you kind of touch it, and it just kind of falls off on the other side, and just kind of slides down and clatters. Everybody just kind of jerks and looks over there.
I stand stock still.
I'm gonna go over to the boxes and act like I'm checking. If anything's fallen, I start helping picking them.
Yeah, just a lid off of one box that was up top. It wasn't like the whole thing didn't come tumbling down. It was just the lid. It was just precariously stacked on top of it. It fell. Well, after a few minutes, everybody just kind of goes back to their normal activities. What are you doing?
I'll keep climbing up. Again, trying to be quiet.
Check in tower, please. Manage to get up, get on top of the box, and then the edge of the wall is kind of flat. It's, pretty wide for you. I mean, it's wider than your feet, so you could get up there and walk. If you walk, single, not sideways, you just kind of walk straight. You could walk around it. But looking from the top, it looks like the intersection of that wall, or intersection of that L, is kind of put off into two, like the left side and the right side. The left side has 6 beds in it, and a table, and it looks like a toilet in the north. It's like a stool with a hole in it, and it goes in. You don't know what's underneath it, but you assume it's some kind of a toilet. And then the other section, you can see there is one bed, a desk, and looks like a chest. Not a chest like a treasure chest, but a chest of clothes, a big tall thing where you drawers on it and that sort of thing. You also see in that room there is a large rug, but it's not laid flat. It's like somebody flipped it over, and underneath it you can see this whole square of the floor is like a trap door or something goes down in there. It's not open, it's closed, but you can see the ring. Normally it's covered up, but and each one of the beds has somebody sleeping in them.
So one side has 6 beds with 6 people. The other side's one bed with 1 person. Yes.
Yes, sorry, I said yes. I guess you didn't hear.
Okay, I didn't hear it. Nuh-uh.
Sorry.
Okay, I turn around and look for Grimlock.
He said he was asleep, so he's on the floor somewhere asleep.
Okay.
I'm definitely asleep. And the cleric's lying right next to me, snooze.
I'm going to sit up there and watch.
Four.
Just watch.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys
What
doing?
time of what time of the night is it?
It's morning. Early morning.
And they still haven't got. Okay. They just haven't woken up yet.
Yeah, it's early morning. Most of the guys, like I said, it seems pretty lax around here. The only people, once the duty for being on watch is over, they go wake somebody up and make them go up there and watch. So
So the
no,
side with the one bed is walled off from the section from the others, correct?
right.
Can I see who's asleep in that bed by themselves?
Well, since it was the door that the leader guy went into, you can assume that it's him. You can't really tell because he's like turned over and sleeping, but his size and shape matches.
Okay. I'm not going to do anything at this point.
Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna. Are you guys just wanting to sleep until you have slept 8 hours? Because I mean, we've already done that, and you've rememorized, you prayed for your spells, you got your spells. If there's anything else, I mean, what's the plan here?
I think what we need to do is we just need to tell these guys that we're going to go inside the temple to talk to the powers that be to see if they've heard anything about Lareth. Because I mean, that's where we're headed next, is inside the tower, inside the temple, right?
Yes, that's what we'd
Yeah.
like to.
I'm really hesitant to pick a fight inside of here with there being this many people.
Yep, understand. So, are you guys going to wait for the commander to wake up and let him know, or are you guys just going to tell the people that are on watch and head on out?
I say we just. I don't think we need to wait for the commander. Matter of fact, I don't see why we would. Just tell the guys at the man in the gate that we're gonna head inside the temple, to let them know what's happened to Lara. See if they have any idea see if they have any intel on what's going on at the.
Okay. The Jack, the guy that you spoke to before, he says he tells Jareth. He says it's not Jareth. You're Fred. He tells Fred. Says this is your first time in the temple.
Yeah, I've never been here before.
Just don't go to the front door. Go to the side doors. That front door
Okay.
will mess you up.
Why? What's it do?
It'll just mess with your head.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it.
And he kind of pulls all the stuff off the door and opens it up to let you
I
out.
try to get over to them silently and leave out with them.
Okay, give me a move silently in the tower, please.
You don't want to stay? Come on, Brian. So nice in there, surrounded by 20 friendly.
20 plus. All right, so actually it's like 26 people after you've, at least Garton knows how many people there are. He can count them all. All right, so you manage to slip down the wall without making a noise, and as you see them opening the door and getting the bars away from it so you can get out, and everybody slips outside without causing any problems, and they close it up, and you can hear the bar being dropped on the door as you guys leave. And you begin making your way, I guess, southwest towards the temple?
Yeah, and once we get out of earshot of the temple, I'm just going to kind of whisper and make sure that Garton's with us. Like, Garton.
Yep, here.
Just making sure.
And I'll, as we make our way over there, I'll kind of fill him in on what I saw behind the wall. Trapdoor and all.
Okay.
And how many people that I counted in there.
All right. So...
Yeah, sounds like a small army.
If only our wizard had a fireball.
Yeah, no. I really could use one of those.
And I don't mean the one he keeps rolling around.
Hey, I could take what you can get, man. You know.
So,
I just need to make one more level, then I can cast it. I think.
just gonna do this.
I'll be right back.
You guys begin approaching the temple itself. I'm trying to clear out some stuff here. I tell you what. Well, yeah.
I'm back.
Trying to get something cleared out here. Yeah, the way they make these angles, it doesn't really help. Almost there. And you guys are coming from that tower.
Got it. Where are the side entrances to the temple he was talking about? Is that the two prongs coming out
The
of it?
two
Is that
flared
right?
out parts, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where he, yeah.
Okay. Guess that's where we're going in, right where you're pointing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So you're not going to the front?
I was told it would mess you up.
Yep. Actually, it's not those flared out sides. Guys, get to that point and you don't see a door there. But you do see one here. And just
Down
to
where it now
kind of,
says 120 feet.
yeah, what that orange line is mine, yeah. And just so you
Okay.
guys, this is what it looks like. It looks just like that.
That's the front door that looks like that, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not the door that's over here. Yeah, that one looks a little. It doesn't look like that image. You let's see. Okay. So yeah, the only doors that you can see, there's some in the front, but the doors that you can see from where you guys are coming from the east side as you approach, there was no other entryway other than there. You can see high up, about 12 feet up in some cases. Well, most cases, the minimum height is 12 feet. There are some large glass, like stained glass windows, massive ones. Some of them have little holes in them, but by and large, they're mostly intact. Other than that door, I say other than that door, the doors and the windows are the only way to get in there, other than the main south door. And so basically, underneath all of those gargoyle-looking things, you can see a giant stained glass window, except for the corners here. There's none there or there.
So let me ask you guys a question. If this place was rolled by the forces of good 10 years ago, why is it in such good?
Because it didn't do a very good job.
Looks that way to me.
So what's the plan, gentlemen?
I guess we're going in the side door.
Yeah.
Garden will go up there and take a listen at it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read what the description is that they have here, so that I don't miss anything. Careful inspection of the structure, including the trek you made around it, reveals the following. The oddly peaked and gabled roof seems to set your teeth on edge. The gruesome visages glaring from the walls are everywhere, as projecting ornaments, as supports and bas relief, etc. The place is huge. It extends over 450 feet north and south and is nearly 450 feet across at its widest. The walls rise 30 feet to support the arched buttresses and many pilasters. I don't even know what that is. The roof's peak is about 20 feet higher than the walls, making the whole edifice at least 50 feet tall. Only 3 doors are visible, all on the south end of the temple. There are... Oh, yeah, and those windows, those stained glass windows I told you about, they're all barred. That's why I wanted to read that. Yep.
So they've got a grid across them that's too close together to get through if you broke the window, right?
It's not a grid. It's just bars. And there's straight bars that are narrow enough for a normal-sized person to not be able to get through.
Okay.
So, are you guys going to approach from here, I guess? You know what? I can put you guys on the map. These squares are 30 foot each, so keep that in mind. They're not 10 feet. So, massive doors. And Garton is going to approach and do a detect noise. And he does so. Not hear anything. You do feel a sense of sort of some force at the front of the building, kind of drawing you, though.
Drawing us toward the front door?
Yep, you. Not them, just you.
Does it feel good or bad or what?
It just, you get this feeling like, I should really go see what's in the front of this building. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm trying to figure out if Garton's wise enough to not do it.
It's not something that's forcing you. I'm just telling you how you feel, the impression you get. It's not something that you need to say verses or anything. It's just you have. I mean, it's just something's drawing you, but not so much so that you can't resist it just by not going. So it's up to you.
Okay.
So what are the rest of you guys doing?
Waiting for him to identify that we can open that.
I'll check the door to see if it's locked.
I'm going to check the nearby walls for any kind of secret entrance.
Okay. That'll take about 30 minutes. Well, no, 10 minutes per like section of wall. So if you have a specific one you want to look at, let me know. Or if you just want to kind of...
Just the one that goes east-west next to the door we're going in. I'll just check that one section of wall.
Okay, throw me a d6 in the tower, please. Brian, the door is not locked. In fact, it seems to be slightly ajar. Do not find any secret doors early on.
All right,
okay.
I'll move back to Grimlock and the party and tell them, hey, the door's a little open. I didn't hear anything back there.
So I'll open.
But man, I really think that we might ought to check the front. Don't you guys get the same feeling?
Do we?
Not from where you guys are at. No, he got it. Yeah.
No, I think we need to stick with the advice that was given to us and go through the side door here. So I'm gonna head through the side. What? Am I missing something?
Obviously you are, because you're not seeing it.
Should I be seeing?
Yeah, what should we be seeing?
Do you want me to move my token? Is that what you want?
Nope. Are you guys
The
not
inside of
seeing
the temple is lit up.
Yeah.
You can't see the inside of the temple now?
I can see some of it. I see
That's
all these
the way you're
columns.
supposed to. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Oh, my Lord. You guys are confusing me. All right. So you, One second. All right. Okay, so the door creaks open, and the floor inside is kind of a reddish brown, slate-like square stones, each about 2 feet square. Man, these guys really like to describe. Listen to this. The walls are plastered and painted with scenes befitting the nature of the temple, disgusting acts, killing, torture, enslavement, robbery, thieves, and unspeakable things. The creeds of the worshippers here are all too evident. Evil is flaunted and lionized. Dim lights flicker throughout the stained glass windows, casting revolting colors upon the greenish stones of the floor to the north. In the direction of the north, you can see the nave of the temple. The pillars to either hand are pinkish material, shot through with warm-colored veins. They really like their stone colors. Their arches lead to an unremarkable pair of lesser side aisles. The columns supporting the archways are the columns supporting the archways, as well as the arches themselves, are worked in bas relief. As with the frescoes in the entryway, the scenes here are ineffable, vile, filthy. It is probable that this area was reserved for the lowliest of worshippers. The area beyond is better lit. I'm sorry, guys, and more open, though it also has more of the nauseating pinkish pillars supporting the roof overhead. And if that wasn't clear enough, there it is. I'm sorry. Normally I wouldn't read all that stuff, but I really don't want to miss anything, in case there's something important. And do you guys move in?
I'm moving in.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, put me in there.
I don't necessarily have to have you guys in. I just want to know if you guys are moving in. So you guys
Yeah,
have
we're moving
made
in.
it into the temple. You can see to the north, straight down the middle to there. The pillars are white marble, and again veined with ugly red. The altar, there is an altar right there in the center that is a block of pinkish white marble. It's round. It's 7 feet long by 5 feet wide, so it must be oval. Its top, which you can't see from here, looks to be flat. And you can see that temple continues on up here, but beyond this area, beyond that block there, it starts to get dark. And there's also like the walls there look weird. I mean, something changes to where you can't see what's there from where you're at. So, I mean, if you want to get closer, you certainly can. But the rest of it you can see. If you want to investigate something, you certainly can.
Yep. So I'll walk up to the altar with Robbie, and because I know he'll want to take a peek at that, do a religion check on it.
Okay. Its top has a hollowed out portion resembling a human form with legs apart and arms away from the body. This depression is stained a darker color than the rest. Just north of the altar is a circular marble-lined pit. Looks like a well, actually. So that black hole, the altar is in front of it. So I should have drawn there. So the altar would be about right there. Just north of the altar is a circular marble-lined pit It's actually a well. Looking down, it goes straight down into blackness. You can see broken glass, shards of pottery and other things are around this whole area. A crystal knife with a broken blade lies atop the stone altar, the one that's shaped like a person.
So Robbie's going to take a look at the altar for religious significance, try and discern what the purpose may have been for this, especially with the you said they had cavities at the top.
Yeah, the shape, kind of a depression in the top of the altar, is like that of a human form with its arms spread out and the legs kind of slightly spread out. It's just like an impression of like laying a body in clay and kind of making it in a stone.
Do you want the roll in the tower?
If you're doing religion check, yeah. It seems to be a sacrificial altar made to some evil deity, probably elemental. The elder elemental, in fact. The god of all elements.
Okay. Grimlock will kind of do a 360 walk around the altar looking for any compartments or anything, any drawers, secret compartments, anything like that.
Okay.
Can I help you with that?
Knock yourself out, man.
Okay. What is Garten doing while they're doing that? And Miramar. And Bias.
I'm gonna move over to this door and take a listen.
Okay. Miramar and Bias?
Just watching what Bjorny and Grimlock are doing. In regards to the altar and area, looking for any signs of arcane activity, symbols, glyphs, that.
Miramar, what are you doing? Luke.
He's AFK.
Back.
What is Luke doing down there in the south?
I'm just gonna, I think, kind of look around, especially if there's any sign of sacrifices, trying to tell if there's fresh blood or anything. But I would probably move up more towards the altar and that type of stuff.
Okay, so you're up there with the rest of everybody else. Okay. Did you make your skill check, Garten? For hear noise.
I was waiting for you to tell me you were ready for it.
Go for it. Yep. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. And I'm sorry I didn't see your AFK message. I didn't even look in the chat box. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
You do not hear anything other than Jareth and Grimlock banging around on the altar. It's very distracting.
Oh, I'm a little more gentle than that.
Well, Grimlock is not. But neither of you find anything. The stone altar seems to be completely solid.
Okay. So I'm gonna go look in that pit then. Go look down. Is there anything that may indicate the purpose of the pit? Can I see a bottom to it?
No,
If
you
not,
cannot.
I'll go ahead and I'm gonna throw like a little coin or a rock or something down there to see if I hear it hit something.
Hold on a second. What is your... Oh, you got something.
Got engineering.
Oh, you're a dwarf, which is better than engineering. So,
Okay.
give me a d6.
In the tower?
Yes. You flip a coin down in there. Is that what you said you wanted to do?
A rock or a coin, something I could hear.
There's some glass and other things that's laying around if you want to use that.
Yeah.
You drop it, and you estimate that it's about 85, 90 feet deep. to where it hit
What the
something.
flip do they need a pit like that for? Holy crap, dude. 85, 90 feet deep. All right, well, I'm gonna light up a torch and throw it down there. I want to see what's at the bottom of this thing because I'll be able to see it if it's only that deep. So I'm gonna take that off my inventory.
You're gonna drop it down, or are you just gonna?
I'm gonna light it and then drop it.
Okay. So you light it, drop it. It falls about 60 feet and then hits something. There's like some obstruction down at the bottom, and it bangs around and then goes underneath whatever was there. And so you can't. I mean, you can see there's something there, but it's black, and you can only see that it's there just by the edge of. The torch is somewhere down below, giving off just enough light to see the edge of there's something up, down the pit that's blocking, but the torch kept going beyond that, and it's
Almost
blocking
like
the
there was
light.
some sort of grate or something that it fell through, maybe.
Something, yeah.
Or a dragon's head.
Or it could have been bodies or whatever.
So, Mike, you're saying it looks like it fell under something, so we're seeing a silhouette backlit by the flickering light of the torch.
It looked like it fell down, then hit something and started spinning, and went. And it after it hit whatever it hit, it started getting underneath things, and you're not sure what it was. It could have been anything.
Got it.
But it appears to still be lit down there, wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not water at the bottom of it. And just looking down inside of the pit here, does it appear like there's any way to climb down? Is there a ladder inside of there, or a place to secure a rope? Any obvious? Does this look like someplace you should go down, or does this look like a place where you just chuck things into? There's got to be a purpose for that.
So you get down on your knees and you look a bit closer, and as so you didn't notice it whenever you threw your torch down because it kind of messed with your infravision, but as the torch went away and the light of the day is kind of shrouded from your looking down, you can kind of see along the edge of the pit there is this narrow walkway that's about 20 feet, 15 feet down along the edge, and it kind of gets a little wider and wider as it goes further down. It's really hard to see up top without just kind of getting down and looking in.
Does it spiral down?
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying the start of the walkway is like 15 or 20 feet down, right?
Right. It's very narrow when it starts. It's like, it starts off like at a couple inches and widens out and gets wider as it goes down.
That's weird.
Just wide enough for a halfling, right?
So what do you guys think about this? What could the purpose of this have been? Is that they did sacrifices and then they just chucked them down the hole? Speculation? Anyone?
No
Keeping
idea.
a pet at the bottom of the hole, and they would chuck sacrifices down there to feed it. So there's probably some kind of rancor or something like that living.
Anybody have like a pit knowledge skill or something like that?
Fresh out of that skill, didn't list it.
Like pit making? Pitsmanship?
I thought they taught that at like first grade in dwarf school, didn't they?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm looking at my skills. I don't see pitsmanship. All right. So Garton, what'd you hear at that door?
Hadn't heard anything over here. You want to see what's
Okay.
behind it?
Yeah, let's go check it out. I'll go over there with my brother,
Is it locked?
and I'll go check out
No,
the
it
door.
is not.
I tell him it's not locked. I'll check it for traps just to see.
Find no traps.
I don't think it's trapped.
All right, I'll open the door.
All right. So what you see, I'm just going to reveal the whole room and tell you, seems to be a vestry. There's a broken rhodonite bowl, and a ewer lie in the corner, apparently thrown in anger and now shattered and useless. The interior of the bowl is caked with a dry brown substance. Pieces of furniture are scattered about, as are torn remains of some brown garments. Three stubs of brown candles. There is a flight of stairs leading down in the southeast.
Uh-oh. Stairs. All right, well, I want to go into that room and I want to take a look around all the scraps and whatever, see if I see any identifying marks, anything like that. Maybe something that might match our cloak. Anything like that in here?
No, but you do find 2 intact brown robes. They are frayed, but they seem to be, usable if you want to use a brown cloak. And the some candles. There's several brown candles. They seem to be normal and of use if you have a use for candles.
So you said the cloaks are brown. Are there any other markings on there, or are they just, shit brown?
They're just brown, shit brown cloaks.
Okay, I'll definitely take those.
Or sorry, brown robes.
Yeah, brown robes. Yeah, throw them in the party inventory. The candles don't appear to have any special significance. They're just regular candles.
They seem to be candles that are brown.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and light one up.
They have a faint smell of cinnamon.
I'll go ahead and light one up.
Okay.
I want to see if anything weird happens, or does it appear just to be a normal candle?
It seems to be a normal candle. Smells of cinnamon. Maybe faint vanilla too.
Yeah, do me a favor and throw those in the party inventory sheet as well. They may have some significance. We'll find out.
You can put them in your poop room.
Yeah. All right. So let's go. Let's go check the other room.
There's no way that those candles would mask the scent of dwarf shit.
You want to?
Maybe
you want
elf
to check
poop?
this door over here for traps and locks and all?
I was going to check the door I'm standing by first.
Oh shit, that's a door.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it sure
dude.
looks like
Yeah,
a
go
door.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Give me the rolls that you want to do.
There's the noise.
Okay.
Then I'll test and see if it's locked.
It doesn't appear to be.
And let me check for traps just in
And
case.
you do not hear anything. Not find any traps.
I think it's clear too.
All right, I'll open that door.
It opens up into a small vestry. Pieces of broken glass and splinters of crystal lie scattered within. Looks like somebody made a fire in the far corner. There's bits of charred wood and cloth lie on the floor, and the rafters overhead are blackened with soot. A pile of robes, apparently once ivory colored, lie in the center of the room. They are soiled and stained with excrement.
Oh, great. All right, so again, I'm gonna go in there and take a look around the garments and stuff that are on the floor. See if maybe there's some more robes in here. Maybe some white robes, or in the existing garments that are on the ground. I'm gonna take a look at those, see if they have any markings on them. Maybe something like the cloaks we used to get in here.
They are robes that somebody used to wipe their butt with. They're covered in feces.
Yeah, I ain't touching those.
Other than that, and the scraps of wood and stuff that's been burned, there's nothing else in the room. A few pieces of charcoal.
Okay, so no indication of what they may have been burning other than just scrap wood.
Correct.
All right, I'll head on over to this other door with curtain.
So there's the noise check.
Don't hit anything.
And we'll check for traps.
Don't find any.
I'll test to see if it's locked.
Nope.
Alright, this one too. I think it's clear.
Anybody gonna say his name?
I'm waiting for it. Grimlock!
Hang on. Tell him a second. Sorry. I was forcing my 16-year-old son to give me a hug. Sometimes it's quite difficult. He just looks at me with this face like, "Are
Dude,
you gay?"
you're bigger than he is. He has no choice.
Yeah.
You just walk up and grab him.
Yeah, I'm telling him as he walks out, "Love you." He's like totally ignoring me. I'm
You gotta
like,
go.
"Love you."
You gotta go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's a part of that.
Yeah. Okay. So this door's clear.
Yeah, ready
All
for
right,
you to
I'll go
open
ahead
it.
Yep, I'll go ahead.
All right. This also is a vestry. Bits of broken altar services are present here, with a broken trident and pieces of torn, scorched robes of moss green colors.
Green robes. All right, I'll
Yep.
go in here and take a look around again, looking at the robes to see if there are any useful ones, and also if there's any markings on the remnants that are down.
One
So-
second.
So the four elements are earth, air, fire, and water. So brown might be earth, the white might be air, this moss green might be water, especially with a trident kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
You got a different vestry for each one of the elements. This is the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Yep, and we got one more door to the north to check.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm remembering more and more of this as we go. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I remember doing.
So you move into the room and look through the rubble. There's several smashed benches, a broken table, a pulled down wardrobe with one side kicked in and the doors turned off. You can also see the flight of stairs that lead down. Examining the room for similar to the other, like for robes and whatnot, you see under the wardrobe a green colored piece of cloth sticking out, and you kind of lift it up, and underneath it you can see 3 intact moss green robes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely put those in the party inventory. They may come in handy. Like, I kind of remember getting those robes when we did it the first time, but I don't think we ever wound up using.
You never did use them.
But we'll keep them. Never know. We may be smarter this time.
Doubtful.
So
Hmm.
looking down the stairway, can I see the bottom of it? How far it goes down? Anything like that? Anything of significance? I don't want to actually go down the stairs.
No, you're not sure how far they go. You can't see the bottom from here because they kind of curve and turn and that kind of stuff.
Yep. All right, let's go check the last door. Actually, what's this in front of me here? Is this stairs in
Yep,
front of me? Where I'm at?
stairs leading down.
More stairs. Shit. So we found 3 stairways going down so far.
Yeah, you
And
see a
the
flight of
hall-
I'm
steps.
going to listen at this door.
Hold on. The flight of
Okay.
stairs leads down 20 feet. The steps are broad and tall. The stone is dull gray. Flecks of color: white, blue, red, green, and black dot its surface. Let's see. There is a stone railing which supports with supports of white, brown, and green stone alternating. Its upper portion is cinnabar. The floor beyond is paved with 3-foot squares of highly polished red granite. The square columns of some type of yellowish stone are carved in bas relief and painted to show scenes of fire, suffering with demonic creatures leering on. All right.
Okay.
Now, you sure you want to keep going, Garden?
Garten was just checking that door up there.
Yep, I'm just asking because he did that before I had the chance
What
to
was
describe
that?
the area.
Man, you faded out through the whole thing. I only caught part of your description.
Did you guys not hear what I was saying?
I heard what you said.
I heard it.
There's some, it's like rainbow stairs, and there's some cinnabar, and there's some pictures, nasty pictures.
These guys have this obsession with talking about the stone and what's the colors within it and the veins, and it's just I don't get it. But
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and listen to this door.
all right, go for it. You don't hear anything but the kind of squeal of a little gas exiting Grimlock as he's trying to stay quiet.
Dude, stop farting. I'll check
you
for
really
traps.
made that check.
Okay. Nothing behind there, though?
No, you hear nothing other than that. You rolled a 1, by the way, on that the hear noise. You find no traps.
And I'll check to see if it's locked.
It is not locked.
All right. I tell him it's not locked. I don't think it's trapped. Didn't hear anything.
All right. I'll go ahead in.
Alrighty, and this is...
Let me guess, a vestry?
This portal is finely carved, but most of the vile and obscene work has been hacked and chopped so as to efface its evil. Beyond is another vestry, a chamber of nearly 30 feet wide and 60 feet long. It once must have been the scene of debauched revels, for the remains of great couches, tables, and padded chairs are strewn about. Charcoal and several broken barrels lie nearby. A stack of resinous faggots near the door seem to be the only things not broken or disarrayed. Amidst the litter are several skeletons. Looks like they may have been human. One wears the tattered remains of a scarlet robe.
Breaking up on me again.
Yep. Yeah, I'll go ahead and you're not breaking up to me, by the way.
Brian,
I'll go ahead in. Take a closer look around. It says resinous faggots. Is it talking about like torches?
Just bundles
like
of wood.
Bundles of wood.
Bundles of firewood.
So I'm going to take a look around again, see if I can find some intact robes. I'm assuming there's, since we see the tattered remains of one red robe, I'm assuming there possibly could be some other ones.
Looking through the room, just glancing around, you don't see any.
Okay. I'll do a detailed look, kind of move things around.
Like,
look underneath. Well, it says there's, remains of furniture in there, so I'll take a look underneath them. In that other room, we had to lift up a chest to get underneath it.
Okay. You don't find anything underneath all the crushed and destroyed furniture, unfortunately.
Then I'll take a look at the firewood and move it and look behind.
Oh. As you move the firewood, you can see right behind it is a cupboard that you couldn't see without the cupboard. It's not a cupboard. It's a cupboard. Cupboard. I always
knew what
say
you
that.
meant.
Sorry. I read sound it out. So anyways, it's a cupboard. And within it are 2 silk robes of bright crimson with skulls embroidered in golden thread.
There we go.
Cowled.
Yep, throw those in the party inventory. And then I'm gonna go over to Garton and say, look, so we found 4 of these rooms, and 3 of them I found intact robes. And the other one we just found one with shit on it. You think you could take a detailed look in there and maybe see if you see something I didn't see, if there's some intact robes in there we need to grab?
Yeah, I'll go look.
And you're going to go look in there?
Yep.
Let me give you the description. Again, so you can see it. If you want to look or search in somewhere, let me know.
So I'll use my sword to move the ones that are soiled and stained.
Okay.
See if there's anything underneath.
Just blackened floor from the fires.
Look around over there by the fire.
You can just see where the soot just made little lines up the walls, going up into the rafters.
If you take a look up in the rafters,
Yeah,
have you seen
I'll
anything?
say I'll climb up and look up in the rafters and see if there's anything up there.
As you look up, you can see on the edge of the rafters, there's like this one piece of white cloth kind of fluttering in the air.
Found it.
You climb up there and you can find, and this is 6. It is an embroidered white, reddish pink whorls and lined with pale blue satin. Intact eye robe. It's like the ones that are down the floor, but it's not shit all over.
Way to go, Brian.
All right, we'll bring it back to Grimlock. So yeah, this was in there.
All right, cool, man. Let's throw that in the party inventory. So we got all the colors of robes. All right, so let's go check out this chair up here.
Is that a
Take a look at
throne or an altar? The yellow, is
right,
that the
so hold
yellow
on.
columns?
Hold
It
on,
was.
hold on.
Sorry.
Fair enough. So the yellow section is an actual altar. It's a huge bronze vessel chased with copper stands. Its 6 legs hold it slightly more than a foot above the floor stones. The basin-like pot is 8 feet in diameter. Its bottom is filled with old charcoal, bits of blackened bone, and unidentifiable lumps. A piece of chain still hangs over this altar, and evidently other similar ones once also hung there. But the bronze links were broken, and short pieces lie on the floor around the altar. The altar's rim is dented and cut as if struck by many hard blows.
I'll have Brother Bjarni do a religion check on this altar, see if he notices anything of religious significance.
He says that it's similar to the other one, except this one seems to have a focus on fire.
So the other one was for sacrificing people, and this one was for burning things? Is that what you're saying?
That's what he tells you.
Okay.
What you want to extrapolate from that? I don't know.
All right, well, I'll have Grimlock kind of do a 360 scan of the altar, looking for any secret compartment, buttons, whatever. Might find some hidden tools, implements that were used at this altar. Maybe something we didn't notice on the first scan.
Okay. can't find anything. It looks exactly like it's basically a large bronze tub that they filled with burning implements, coal and wood and other things.
So no
there's-
markings or anything on
No.
this.
No.
Okay.
All right, so the section in the north.
Yep.
This dais extends south into the temple, forming a circular area. The floor, steps, and the walls are black basalt, highly polished and gleaming. 4 steps lead to the upper platform and upon it is a great throne of purplish basalt with leering demon faces and carved grinning skulls. Above the throne, the following words in the common tongue are chiseled into the curving wall. The power of elemental death brings mortals low, but raises the nameless one high. That's what it says. The flags upon which the throne sits are 10-foot squares of granite set in a mosaic pattern. And here is that.
I
That's the
remember
first
this,
piece.
man, from way long time ago. But we did all kinds of crap on this thing too, trying to figure out the different colors and everything. I remember this. We spent a lot of time just sitting here playing around on this disco.
And so what I'm going to do is we'll pause it right there, actually, before we get into doing anything else, because we're actually after midnight. It's probably late for Bill. I was trying to find a good point to end it on a cliffhanger, but it's just kind of going a little slower than I hoped. But we'll keep it here and pause it.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, when we come back, we can figure out the pattern to move the chair, go down the stairs, and we can go fight Zuck next time.
Sure thing.